The legacy of independent comics, self-published magic. Grrl Scouts 30th anniversary live stream, a magical Friday celebration. You guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'm your host. My name is Jim. I've made some comic books over the years. With me, as always, the most dynamic producer in all of comics podcasting, Jazzy Jamie Wood. Thanks so much for joining me, buddy.
That is an honor, Jim.
This is gonna be fun, man. We have
I'm excited.
So much shit to pack into one live stream. Dude, can we get a little business out of the way just to start off? I just need to pimp a couple quick things, if you don't mind. Guys, cruise on over, link below. My brand new comic book launches in October. Defective Comics presents The Arachnid Enforcer. Please sign up for the pre-launch. You will be notified when the book is available. Super fun, dynamic, Halloween spookified superhero parody comics like you love. The next is, you guys know the Ink Pulp community. Cruise on over to Ink Pulp on YouTube. Check out me and Sean Crystal, Ink Pulp Live, hosting the baddest and freshest comic book artists, drawing live, talking craft, hanging out. Super fun. My other YouTube endeavor, Trash Movie Bonanza, with the always fresh, always funny Chris Comic Tropes Pierce at the Comic Tropes After Dark YouTube channel. Peep it out. And grab yourself a Grrl Scouts t-shirt over on tpublic.com. If you can scroll down, there it is, the black Grrl Scout shirt there. Fresh merchandise, guys. You order the shirt, it's comfy, and then you put it on your body. It's nice. Skull Funk Radio, I've made 60 mixtapes, all free. Pop these bad boys on when you're working, drawing, having family over, getting loose, getting funky. Also available on Spotify. And last but not least, jimmahfood.com. I got a shop where you can score books, prints, other wonderful assets. And right now, we're having a super secret little sale on some items, as you can see. So check it out. Jamie, with the celebration of Grrl Scouts starting in 1995 with these self-published efforts, I was wondering, dude, like, what do you think it would look like if we had footage of me from 30 years ago talking
Jim,
about...
I might have some footage of you from 30 years ago talking about this.
Shit. Did you dug it up? You found it?
I dug it up, Jim.
Let's check it out.
Really well received in the area and been selling well, and I mean, even thinking about shopping it around to different independent publishers who will put it out for me nationwide, but I will get to retain, you know, like creator ownership, and there'll be no editorial constraints over me. That's my ideal situation. Let somebody else worry about the printing, the distribution, and the money, and the color cover, and all that crap. I can just concentrate being on kind of like an editor, I guess, getting people to do stuff for me like Mike. And basically everybody's really excited about doing stuff for me, and they're not really expecting anything back as far as money. You know, it's more like support, which is really important. You know, that's what you need. And it's like, you know, between me, you know, I try to help out the Flavor Pack guys, they help me out. It's all in conjunction, just trying to get each other out there, and that's what we need.
Oh my God. That was
When's the afro coming back, Jim? When's the afro coming back?
I could bring it back. That was a 70s themed party at my buddy Steve's house in 1995. I was in college at the Kansas City Art Institute and started self-publishing these books, and we're gonna go through all the early joints here. Flavor Pack was a crew we had in college, and we were all collectively making our own comic books and throwing our own DJ events and parties and having a blast, man. So, before I get into that, I wanted to show like my sketchbook from that era. And there's a ticket for Fishbone Fishbone, March 13th, 1995 at the Lone Star in Kansas City. Great show. Bookmarked some stuff to show you guys. First ever drawing of a Girl Scout appearing in the sketchbook in 95. Very, very skinny arms here. Second drawing ever of a Girl Scout. It was originally called the Girl Scouts of South Central because my roommate and homeboy at the time, Mike Huddleston at the time, we're still super tight friends, obviously. The original joke was like, what if actual little kid Girl Scouts were in South Central and they had to wear like, bulletproof vests and run through gangbangers neighborhoods trying to deliver cookies to people. And I was so obsessed with Tank Girl at the time that I thought, well, let's make the girls, like teenagers or in their early 20s or whatever, so we can at least throw some sexiness in there. This was the original cover design for this first book. So it was Gwen, but she was on top of a pile of the dead bodies of the guys that she winds up fighting in this issue. Early, probably the first ever crew photo with all the girls, Daphne, Gwen, Rita. And if you're a new fan of my work, you're an Ink Pulp community member, maybe you might not even know what Girl Scouts is. Girl Scouts is a creator-owned comic about these three girls that deal weed and go on psychedelic adventures. That's basically like the elevator pitch. There's another crew photo. So the original spelling, the Girl, you can see I had that on the first two books. I put out the first two books, and then after the second one came out, the Girl Scouts of America actually sent me a cease and desist letter. I was publishing these out of Kansas City, and then someone told me the Girl Scouts world headquarters was actually in Kansas City at the time. So I was selling these not only at comic shops, but at local coffee shops and record stores. So the idea, I guess, is someone from the actual Girl Scouts organization saw these crazy books and weren't happy with what I was doing. So Girl Scouts of South Central again. Let me show some original art real quick too. So this is the original of that first issue cover, the hand cut Zipatone. And it's crazy because, we didn't really place a lot of value on our originals at that time. So my originals are actually the printer's plates for the book. So this is the original taped down. This is the original back cover. And then you flip this over, and inside of this is the original inside front cover, inside back cover. So this is, printed as a plate when the book is put out. But we just didn't really, so it's weird. I have all the originals for all this stuff, which is a great thing, but it's all, it's like production artwork basically. But that's okay. So like I was saying, I mean, you can see in this early stuff, like the obvious Jamie Hewlett influence on my work, and Evan Dorkin, Milk and Cheese. I was really into all the black and white fanographic stuff, 8-Ball, Hate, Adrian Tomamines' work. I was also inking Mike Huddleston's work full time. We were doing Rust over at Caliber Press. We did like 2 or 3 issues of that. We did in 1995. I showed this on the Savage Street Vigilante stream, but we did some stuff for DC Comics, Showcase 95. But this being my first kind of like doing this style of comic stuff, it was kind of cool at the time because like I had never drawn things like this before, like this crazy exaggerated stuff like this and her jumping through the air. It's funny because I wasn't conscious of like, well, this hand, just draw the fingers and have this bleed off the page, you know? Just a quick story of her, these guys try and rob Gwen and then she just kills them all and is like, damn, I got to get home. Simpsons are almost on. And then look at that. Speaking of Huddleston, bringing it so hard with the pinup, which I inked. And again, man, that's super, super tight inking styles back then. It's funny to look at now. It's like I could never ink that tight now. This is me hosting an all-important essay, guys, a public service announcement, if you will, how to not draw comics. And this is just like ridiculous, making fun of bad girl comics. In 95, I mean, Image and a lot of publishers were still guilty of basically making like trash comics. I mean, we look back at them now fondly, but at the time we were all sort of tired of this stuff. Gothic horror, vampire slut, scrotum scruncher gun. What the fuck? Dude, check this out, Jamie. These are geared toward horny adolescent undersexed fanboys. I don't think anyone has the right to produce or purchase this crap unless they A, have actually had a date, B, have seen a real woman naked, C, still don't live with mom. Here's what I mean. It's like the ironic thing though now is like, you know what I mean? The ironic thing now though is like, I like these trash comics. Like I like you can get this kind of stuff, in the 50-cent bins, and it's just fun. The super dope Cyber Ranger graffiti artists that are also from Brooklyn. And bringing back characters from the dead was a trend in the mid-90s. Gumby back from the dead. Out of the way, cocksuckers. Back from the dead to avenge the death of Pokey. I'll tell you what, guys, also, like, looking through this stuff, I think some of these ideas, like I was 95, I was like very, 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 very high while I was making a lot of this stuff. And it comes through in some of the ideas of like, what is this about? Gothic art students from hell doesn't like that rap shit. Learn how to make your characters hip. Good grief. Word. And then we got ads for my homies. Jay Sonderman was also a roommate living with Huddleston and I at the time. He did a zine called Detox 9. Flavor Pack was a zine and a whole cultural movement at the time in Kansas City, throwing like hip hop parties. Next issue, more Girl Scout action with Daphne. Venus 12 from Christine Nori. Irma from Nathan Fox. And some shout outs, a thank you. I had my very first PO box here that people could mail me stuff. Pretty fun. Issue 2, $1, guys. Buy it while it's hot. And look, Jay joined me as a designer. So we kind of upgraded to, I actually have like a typed introduction to the book. And this is the stuff that the Grrl Scouts got pissed off about. Like I was blatantly using their symbols on the girls, and all of this stuff is like weed, violence, sex, foul language. And they weren't amused by that, This is a Daphne story. Daphne, this also introduces Otis and Leonard, the two like Jay and Silent Bob kind of stoner characters. Give me my money, you little wanker. Wanker is a British expression that I had no idea what it meant. I only knew it from the Tank Girl comics. So I put it in my books because it was in Tank Girl. But other than that, I had no idea.
The context works here, Jim, by the way.
Yes.
Still works.
Yes. Yeah. So Daphne, based on my girlfriend at the time, my first art school girlfriend that I was dating during this time. Some interesting storytelling. Like, I'm not going to go into fully critique and pick apart all this stuff. It is what it is. It's charming. It's fun. It's amateur. There's attempts at things like, you know, bird's eye view panel here. I don't think the angle's right. I don't think things are being pulled off necessarily, but then you get a panel like this one, which I think pretty well drawn, you know, but then, you know, he's supposed to be standing in this panel over this guy. And it looks like he's obviously the proportions are all wrong. So, another early thing to point out is early staple of my work, all the references to music and pop culture in the backgrounds on the floor of this panel. Very, very important to me at the time to express my interest in what I was reading, what I was watching, what I was listening to. So you get all my music references, all my movie references like forced onto you. Huddleston with another banger of a pinup that I got to ink. In 95, he was really bringing it with like this kind of Japanese reference stuff. I don't know. Well, I guess like Hookups, the t-shirt company, the skate brand, like people were putting manga images, anime images on streetwear at the time. Christine Nori, incredible talent. Christine worked the register at the comic shop I went to when I was a kid in St. Louis. We were the same age. We probably met when we were like 15. She started making her own comics, and she eventually went on to work in-house at DC Comics in New York. And then she did the Hopeless Savages series written by Jen Van Meter at Oni Press. She illustrated that, and then she did a killer one-shot deluxe comic book at Oni called Cheat, all about this girl having like an affair. But it's here. This is what's so crazy. Like her cartooning and her drawing to me is more solid, more consistent, and just straight up better than the stuff that I have in this book. That's just my opinion. But when I got these pages from her, I was like, oh shit, she's showing me up in my own book. But that's okay. It makes just for a killer product. Look at that panel. Look how great that is. Her in the tub. Super solid cartooning. Shout out to Christine. We're still friends. I haven't talked to her in a while, but really great person. Nathan Fox was a roommate of mine at the time. He did this very strange, surreal, sort of Calvin and Hobbes inspired series of pinups. I got to ink everything. Super fun collab. I mean, Nathan, we're in the same class and the same age in art school. We're, you know, he's like 19, 20 drawing at this level. I think that it's incredibly impressive. Like Nathan was the star of my class in school, and Mike Huddleston was, I believe, 2 years ahead of us in school, and he was the star of the whole illustration department. Look at that crazy shit with like the weird sock puppets. And then this was a family portrait of all the roommates. Paul Friswold was our homie, who was a writer who just did this portrait of himself with the smack me with the heroin needles. He was not a heroin user. This is me working the grill with the shaved head and the fishbone shirt. Nathan drew himself with some funky fly golf gear. Mike drew himself, of course, back to the camera, working away, because that's all Mike did. Mike would sit in his room 12 hours a day, basically every day, drawing. And that's just how he got to the level that he's at. He's, you know, he put in the hours. Mr. Spiteful became a very, very popular character of mine, of just a hate, rage-filled cult of personality type character that hates everything and is annoyed by everything in the world and goes out and murders coworkers and people that he doesn't like, and he crosses the wrong person and he eventually gets killed. Pinup from the homie Scott Stolfus. Scott in 95 worked at the legendary Clint's comic book store in Kansas City, which I believe to this day, you can look this up online. I think Clint's is the longest running comic shop that's still open in America. The incredible Paul Briggs providing an amazing pinup of Otis and Leonard, paying homage to the Sienkiewicz Power Man and Iron Fist ad. Paul would go on to win an Oscar award for his work on Big Hero 6, the animated feature. Paul was so dope that Disney pulled him out of school his junior year. Like, Paul straight up moved from Kansas City to Florida to go work in-house at Disney. Next issue, we got Otis and Leonard teaming up in Destroy All Frat Boys. My homeboy Next, graffiti writer. How about Dem Freaks? The incredible Steve Willerette, who has been in-house at Hallmark greeting cards for years. Spirits of 76. None of these projects came to fruition because I got the cease and desist letter from Grrl Scouts of America, put everything on hold, and figured out a way to rebrand everything. Check it out. My first letter. I got my first piece of fan mail, you guys. Grrl Scouts P.O. Box. 40-ounce comics is the crew. So, getting in trouble, I cleverly then hid the next installment of Grrl Scouts in my self-published Cosmic Toast anthology. You're getting almost a full color cover here, guys. You're getting a higher quality product. The price is being bumped up to $250. This is shocking, Jamie. This is a bold move. We're bumping up to $250.
See, just before we go into this, Jim, see, after you got the cease and desist, what was life like for that wee period? What were you doing? Because I can't imagine you just went straight to this. Like, what did you actually do about that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I missed telling the story. So I panicked and freaked out. And then I believe it was Mike Huddleston who just calmly and logically was like, dude, just change the spelling to GRRL. Just change the spelling. Like, this is a homage to the Riot Grrl movement that was happening in the 90s with like bands like, you know, Bikini Kill and that kind of stuff. And I was in art school with all these cool girls that smoked clove cigarettes and wore Doc Martens and listened to these bands. So I was seeing the Grrl zines at school and on campus and stuff. So it was like, oh yeah, okay, let's shift gears. But, you know, to protect myself as well, Jamie, I was like, let me go in a different direction. I'm going to now make my own anthology, kind of modeled after my love of like 8-Ball. And I've recommended this to young cartoonists, new cartoonists. If you're starting your first comic, we've talked about it endlessly in the Ink Pulp streams. Make your own anthology and give yourself the assignment of making, you know, your own short comics and draw them all in different art styles. Try different approaches on the writing. Do like, for example, the book starts off with this weird kind of sci-fi astronaut time travel thing of this guy in a cafe who turns out to be some sort of weird spaceman type character. That's part one of his story, to be continued. Then we go into a conversation done in a more kind of dry brush style. This was like an auto bio, even though I'm not in it. This was an emo comic about a breakup I was going through at the time. And then boom, we go into Grrl Scouts. Look at this gorgeous pinup from Jen Martell. Was a year below me, I think, in this illustration department at Kansas City Art Institute. I don't know what happened to Jen. I think she went into animation, but again, holy shit. Like, she's drawing my characters better than I am. These girls, between her and Christine Nori, these girls are like taking me to school, man. But it's all good because they're in my book. Like, they're making my characters look super dope. So around this time as well, I started talking to Dan Votto at Slave Labor Graphics, and there was a hot minute where Slave Labor was going to possibly publish Grrl Scouts as a 4-issue miniseries. But talking to Dan on the phone, I quickly realized I was not qualified to work with them yet, and I was not qualified to write and draw my own 4-issue miniseries, because I told Dan, yes, I will start a book for you. And he said, where are the breakdowns of all 4 issues and where are the scripts? And I said, well, no, I just write as I go along. And he's like, no, that's not how you make comics. Chris Pierce, Comic Tropes in the house. Dave Crosland, the King Gum in the house. Jenny Vitas in the house. Flintworks Art, 9-panel grid. Adam. And I'm just scrolling through the chat real quick. Jamie, if you can you just keep track if people have questions or?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
Adam Archer's here. Sorry, guys, I get distracted with keeping the momentum going. Okay, cool. Back to the business.
Question, sorry, Jim. We had a good question from Amado. And is there like a hardcover edition that collects all of these Girl Scouts, like the early stuff?
That's an excellent question. That project is in the works as a potential Kickstarter. And I will address that towards the end of the show when I talk about the future of Grrl Scouts. Autobio stuff. Autobio. This isn't Grrl Scouts related, so I'm going to kind of go through this stuff just real quick. Another killer Huddleston pinup that I got to ink. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. That takes us into, let me grab some. And I wanted to say real quick, just in terms of chronological order, Cosmic Toast, self-published 1996. This obviously leads, boom, directly into that. Generation X Underground Special, recruited in 1996 by Marvel to write and draw my own Jammy Jam. This is done in 97. Gets put on a shelf by Marvel and then comes out in 98. So kind of cool that this self-published effort yields this, one of the strangest books Marvel has ever produced in their history. Also, guys, if you want to check out all the early Girl Scout stuff I just showed you, it's collected in this book called Classic 40 Ounce, published by Image Comics. I want to do a very quick thing here. I would send out all my packages. This is before internet, before any of that crazy technology. I would mail packages to all my favorite cartoonists. Got postcards from Adrian Tomamine and Dan Klaus. Let me read the Dan Klaus one to you guys. Dear Jim, thanks for the comics and for writing such a polite letter. Your artwork is very developed for your youthful age. If the comics biz doesn't collapse in the next few months, you shouldn't have any trouble getting work. Good luck to you, my boy. Best, Dan Klaus. Holy shit.
That's so good.
That's so fucking awesome, dude. I had that, taped above my drawing table for years and years and years. And I took it down. I still have it in a scrapbook. So
that's so cool to see. Chris from Comic Tropes was asking, do you have any affection for Gen X after you showed the Generation
X? Oh
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It that definitely is a feather in the cap of just how weird and how beautiful that I even got to get away with that at Marvel. And if you guys want to check out a deep dive of that book, of the Gen X book we're talking about, there's an entire episode of this with me, Ed Piskor, and Jim Rugg over on the Cartoonist Kayfabe YouTube channel. So go to Kayfabe, type in my name, or type in Gen X Underground. So guys, after Gen X Underground comes out, I get recruited by Bob Schreck, who just starts Oni Press, to draw the Clerks one-shot with Kevin Smith. Follow that up with Oni Double Feature, a couple issues of that. And then we go immediately into the big jammy, my first solo 4-issue miniseries, writing and drawing. We're in the big leagues now, guys. We got the full color cover, colored by my buddy Jack Gray. Jack was coloring all of Rob Schraub's covers over on Scud at the time. This is a super fun series. I can't do deep dives on all these issues because we're limited on time with this stream. So I'm going to show everything, but we're going to go through things. This is kind of a fun way to start and introing your characters, though. Set them up as little kids. They've known each other since they were little kids, and then page turn, boom, double page spread of their current situation, where they're at currently. In these books, it was always important for me to put my soundtrack of the records I was listening to at the time. We got Dr. Israel, The Clash, Gil Scott-Heron, Bad Brains, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, and Agent Orange. Optic Nerve on the wall, Peter Tosh poster on the wall, Run DMC on the wall, Keith Haring on the wall. And I got to mention, man, my boy Sean Conant on lettering on this whole series. He also lettered the Clerks comic and did such a fantastic bang up of a job on all my work. And this was the era that I would pencil all these pages and I would FedEx into Oni like half the book. Oni, Bob Schreck, and Joe Nosmak would check out my pencils, my layouts. They'd FedEx the pages to Sean. Sean would letter directly on the boards on the original art, FedEx the art back to me, and then I would do final inks, which is a really great way of working because see how much space some of this lettering takes up? That's less work for me now. I'm just inking around the balloons. So when you get the boards back and the lettering is on there, it's super exciting to see the lettering. It looks like a real comic book. So I'm excited then to sit down and get to inking on these pages. And B, like I said, with panels like this, it eliminates work time for me because I'm just inking the characters. This is so funny too. So this era of 98, after working with Kevin Smith, look at how verbose a lot of this stuff is. We all thought that we could be Kevin Smith and Tarantino. Like, this is still the 90s. So all of your characters had to talk about pop culture references. For example, in this panel, they're talking about Def Jam, Fat Boys, Curtis Blow, Rick Rubin, Blair Underwood. Oh, Blair Underwood played Russell Simmons in the Crush Groove movie. Okay. But, we were all like, your characters got to talk. They got to talk raunchy. They got to talk about sex. They got to smoke weed. There's got to be violence. There's got to be, this is kind of a nice page turn right here. Boom, boom, boom. You missed. Shot directly to the head. Page turn to reveal Gwen. Daphne is the violent bruiser of the group, so she literally like stomps this guy out. Nothing subtle about my early work. I was 98. I was 23, 24 making this. So the bad guys in this first series are called the Brotherhood of the Cracker. They're like literally racist KKK guys that have the word cracker in their name. So Girl Scout cookies became the name of the letters column. Gorgeous pinup from Andy Watson. Andy did an incredible book at Slave Labor called Skeleton Key. And Geisha over at Oni. Killer pinup for my homeboy Scott Morse. Look at that. All three of the girls hanging out. Hard-boiled poster in the background. Get some ads showcasing the era. Scott Morse Volcanic Revolver. Frank Miller cover on Whiteout. Mike Mignola, Troy Nixie on Jenny Finn. And the next couple of issues I'm going to just kind of go through really quick. Check out that double page spread though. Graffiti, the train yards, the soundtrack posted up on the train car. Andrew Soria in the house. What's up, dude? Thank you for being here.
We had a good question from Grrl there. He said, Jim, do you own that pinup by Adam Warren?
Yeah.
I was going to say, were you keeping a lot of the pinups that your collaborators were doing for you during these books?
Yeah, so that was the deal. I would trade for all the pinups. And example, in this one, we got Mike Allred. Dude, madman with the Grrl Scouts. Are you kidding me?
That's so cool.
1999. And China Clugston, who was China Clugston Major at this time. Look at how fucking fresh that is. So that was the deal, is I would trade with everyone, but I would ask for the originals. So I own all the originals. It's something that I would never sell. I mean, those are mine for life. This is hilarious, man. The sex scene. Daphne and her boyfriend are having sex behind closed doors, and Sean with the sound effects, and it gets to this orgasmic lettering. I love it.
See, coming into this stuff, Jim, off the back of the clerk stuff, were you feeling like a lot more pressure on you at that time because you were starting to get like noticed?
I was feeling really good and excited, and I was so young, and I was just fueled by pure adrenaline and lots of marijuana that I was just full steam ahead, man. And the Oni guys were so great to work with because they would give me guidance, but they basically would just let me do whatever I wanted to do. That's actually not a terrible panel of the bird's eye of their house on fire. This is pretty funny too. Holy fucking shit. No, my clothes, my comics, the fucking bong, man. Daphne, no. It's fun to know the time difference of all this stuff passing. We got official letters page now, letters coming in from fans, which is super exciting. I love a good letters page. Oh shit, look what we got here. The official Graffiti Designs Grrl Scouts t-shirt. Let me grab something real quick. You're not official, you guys, until you've worked with Graffiti Designs.
That's so cool.
And where's that logo? Where's that insignia? There it is, right there on the sleeve, baby. I was buying Graffiti Designs Batman t-shirts in 1989 when I was a kid. And then Graffiti Jamie, rocking my Grrls. How crazy is that?
That's so cool. That must have been very surreal.
So great. And
wait,
while I'm on,
oh, sorry, on you go.
Oh, can you save that for just 1 second? I just wanted to show something real quick.
Yeah, of course.
While we're on gear and t-shirts, before graffiti designs, I did a self-printed ringer that I would sell at conventions during that time. And then that evolved into, we got the just straight up 40-ounce comics t-shirt with Daphne on it.
That's sick.
Getting some color in there, 1999. We got that, I couldn't find one in my archives, but we have the really cool Grrl Scouts black and white graffiti font t-shirt that you can score on my TeePublic. And then cut to many years later, we got Daphne t-shirt that I did in conjunction with the fine folks from Rogue Screen Print. And we did these and sold them at Thought Bubble in the UK in 2018, I believe. So super limited edition, really dope, badass screen print. Sergeant Popper's Groovy Hearts Club Band. But I had to represent the Grrls. Daphne sucking on a lollipop.
That's so sick.
What was the question?
Yeah, Chris was asking which Girl Scout series was the toughest to make and why.
I would say probably this first one, just because it was like a baptism by fire. But this is a kind of a cheesy response, but in general, all of these series are a joy to make because I get to write and draw whatever I want. And I view the Girl Scouts characters and I write them and I treat them like they're friends of mine. So cheesy response, but when I get to work with them, when I get to make stories with them, it's like hanging out with old friends of mine. You got the soundtrack on a newspaper down here. I vividly remember taking my shitty little film camera and walking down the street and shooting the photo reference of this VW bug. So the girls are on the run. They run into Rita's dad. We get the history of the Brotherhood of the Cracker. This stuff is so fun and silly. And we get a training montage. You can see early on, though, like the 80s VHS B-movie influence has always been in my work. Like there's always been a bit of a grindhouse vibe. They all take mushrooms and trip out.
I was going to say those panels look sick.
To be concluded. Girl Scout cookies. Duncan Fagredo. Holy shit. Look at that pinup.
That's insane.
Look at how dope that is. Dude, again, I'm getting schooled by all these other artists, but they're drawing my characters, so I don't care. But I mean, it don't get any fresher than that. That's incredible. Who else we got? Oh, and Mike Huddleston coming fresh with the 70s poster style, fake movie poster style Girl Scouts. Rocking the Most Def t-shirt. Love that this is a time capsule. You got the Badass Mofo calendar, Barry Ween comic, Paul Dini. Final issue of this series, Daphne invading the Grrls. Some fun storytelling right there of Daphne coming out of the grate in the ceiling. I mean, you know, there's a lot to pick apart. There's a lot to critique and all this stuff. A lot going wrong in these comics, but the charm and innocence of it, to me, it makes it okay. But you know, one of the major issues of my early work is I just was not conscious of really moving the camera. Everything is basically a straight on shot, lots of medium shots, you know. It's so this early style is obviously style, you know, over substance in a way. Oh, let me grab, I have some original art to show too. Not too much because we have so much to do, but this page, that's the original for that. So you get the hand cut Zipatone. You get Sean Conat's gorgeous hand lettering on the boards. Like I said, that's all on the art. So great, man.
Did you say you don't have a lot of this stuff, the originals?
I meant that I didn't bring it out for the show.
How much of it do you have? Do you still have a lot?
Honestly, dude, from this first series, I don't have a lot. I sold most of it. Moving forward though, it's the reverse. I wind up keeping most of it. Adam Warren with the ultra fresh pinup. Look at that. Can you believe it? Dirty Pair. I was a Dirty Pair fanatic. So getting him to do this pinup, and I own the original, and that's a whole other show, Jamie, I want to do. I just want to go through all the original art of other people that I own at some point, other friends, you know, because I have an archive of crazy shit. Christine Nori. This is funny. Christine, the girls are on a subway and all the agents that they've killed all look like me. Pretty sweet.
We had a good question from his name is X1 there, saying were you using pilot pens back there, but what tools were you using during this time?
Oh, so to ink this entire series, I was using the Pilot Precise Rollerballer V7 and V5. And, you know, I had a crazy inking technique back then, which is I would pencil everything out and then I would ink over the pencils with just a deadline like this, just like that. And then in the afternoon after lunch, I would spark up a huge bowl in my bong, get super high, and then I would go back, you guys, and add all the line weights like this. I would go in and manually, like, I would never, ever, ever do that in a million years now. But when you see the weights of the art, it's done as a separate step. It just, and honestly, that started to destroy my hand and give me carpal tunnel at like age 25 or something. So this was the last series that I did that technique with. This is Grrl Scouts Work Sucks. I started this in 2002. I had just moved to Los Angeles. Jack Gray again on the colors. And now I'm over at Image Comics. I talked to Jim Valentino, who was publisher at the time, and I brought all my creator-owned stuff over from Oni to Image. So we're rocking with a brand new publisher now. We're rocking with a brand new series. I'm doing everything. I'm doing the hand lettering on the boards. The theme and vibe of this issue is the Grrl Scouts all quit dealing weed and get straight jobs. And it's kind of funny because this is basically a slice of life miniseries. And I was hanging out with Scott Morse all the time at this time. And then when I moved to LA, we were basically neighbors. So his influence on me, I really just wanted to do a series for some reason that didn't really rely on like brutal violence. I know everyone watching is like, Jim, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, I wanted to do a slice of life story of characters hanging out and basically talking. Which rereading this, it works. It's fine. It's charming. But I mean, it doesn't, I don't really know if it fits the Grrl Scouts vibe, but it makes for an interesting, series. It is sort of odd to think about, though. They go to the skate park and Daphne does wind up getting into some trouble with the cops showing up at the end. And it's like, hey, I thought we were supposed to keep a low profile. Girl Scout cookies. We got the letters column back. Incredible pinup from the legendary Jose Garibaldi. Fantastic comic book artist. Worked with Paul Dini, illustrated a Jingle Bell series at Oni that Paul wrote.
Jose is in the chat right now as well.
Oh, no shit. Jose, what up, dude? Holy shit, brother. Jose, this original is framed and hanging on the opposite side of my studio right now. And also framed and hanging up, who's also in the chat, my homeboy Dave Crosland with the killer pinup. Dave, did a series with me at Image called Bad Ideas. He did the Scarface series at IDW that John Layman wrote. He also did Puffed at... Dave, was Puffed Image or Oni? John Layman wrote that as well. Dave will give us some answers. These are my boys, man. And these are my boys that every year at Chicago Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, we would rock the crazy ass live art parties and just get loose and have a great time. I did this ad for Merce, legendary rapper from Los Angeles. This ad also ran in Herb magazine, one of the most popular music magazines at the time.
Dave said, yep, Puffed was Image. IDW did the trade collection.
Oh, right. Okay, good to know. That's a fresh drawing of Rita. Oh, there's the soundtrack. You get the soundtrack in the credits page in this series. So, yeah, I mean, so like I said, the girls get straight jobs. Rita starts doing murals around town and meets a cool dude that she gets into a relationship with. One, positive thing I'll say is like, I feel like I was doing a pretty good job even back then of understanding the balance of black and white, the way they work off of each other. Girl Scout cookies, letters. Who we got on pinups, guys? Holy shit. Farrell Dalrymple of Pop Gun War fame. Still out there crushing it. Still making books. And my buddy Jim Campbell, who was a couple years below me at the Kansas City Art Institute. Fantastic cartoonist. Look at that. Jim was in a band called the Automen, and I believe Jim is still working in comics, and he does lots of lettering, freelance lettering in comics. Issue 3, I'm just going to kind of breeze through these guys. This is a weird printing of this one. The blacks aren't quite as dark as they should be. All the t-shirt stuff. You got Ween. She's wearing a Stooges cap. Gangstar. Def Jux, Blues Explosion, Prince Paul. Jello Biafra for president. Robot Bastard. Shout out to Rob Schraub there on Gwen's t-shirt. Kieran Dwyer, man. Do you guys remember LCD Comics? He got in a huge lawsuit with Starbucks because he printed that comic book cover and t-shirt with the Starbucks logo, but the girl in the logo is topless, and instead of it saying Starbucks coffee, it says consumer whore. And dude, he got in so much trouble for that. It was a huge pain in his ass for a while. Karen and Rick Remender worked as a team for years. And speaking of Rob Schraub, my old homeboy, Scud represent, Robot Bastard represent, Schraub Home Video, the super fresh Grrl Scouts pinup. Final issue of Work Sucks. The girls are rocking and rolling. It is odd to see a Grrl Scouts comic book series with this little of action, bloodshed, violence, nudity. There is some drug use. People are snorting drugs. Cheers, everybody wins. Letters page. Boom, Doug TeNapel with a gorgeous pinup. Doug, creator of Earthworm Jim. Michael Avon Oming. Look at that bad boy. That's awesome. Nice. Love it, man. So great. Jamie, that concludes the black and white independent portion of our show. I was wondering if we could fast forward to 2015. I got to team up with the legendary director. Let me show some visuals while I'm... So that first Grrl Scout series, available in trade paperback from Image Comics, Work Sucks, available in trade. Magic Socks, Stone Ghost. Anyway, guys, 2015, very strange. I team up with legendary director Mike Diva. Mike is now the creative director at Saturday Night Live. They recruited him and brought him out there to New York about 3 years ago. So all the best commercials, all the best digital shorts you've seen on SNL, Mike has directed. You can check out a music video we did on SNL for Pete Holmes, did that rap song, Short Ass Movies, is on YouTube, and Mike directed it, and my artwork is hanging up in the background of that music video. Mike is amazing. We came together and made this 15-minute Grrl Scouts live action TV pilot for Ron Howard, the famous actor. It's Ron Howard, the dude from Happy Days. Ron Howard was giving out budgets to up-and-coming YouTube stars. So Mike was on the rise, making these incredible videos on YouTube. You probably know him from like Sexy Sax Man and all this crazy shit he made. So the two of us got teamed up. We got a budget. We got a real crew. We got actresses. And over the course of 4 straight days, we shot Grrl Scouts, the live action pilot. I art directed it. Mike and I wrote it together. Let's watch it together. Fuck it. Jamie, can you please hit it?
Three badass bitches who run these streets. We got kingpin status and tons of treats. We them girls. Haters gonna hate cause we so fly. No, we don't really care cause we so high. We them girls.
It must be our lucky day. We got ourselves a Grrl Scout. Been trying to page something on you dicks for a long time.
Hey, you got any of those caramel smiles or Slim Mints in here?
They're not selling cookies. They're selling drugs.
Yeah, I know, I was making a joke.
I was just tagging. Can't you just let me go with like a slap on the wrist or something?
You hear that, Freitas? She wants a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Well, it is a nice day. I'm thinking I can give her a little bit more than just a slap on the wrist.
shopping store?
It's new. Look at these cutie bracelets Rita got. Tell us about your day. Well, while you guys were out shopping without me, I was on the streets making this beautiful stack of cash money.
Huh. Gwen thinks that she's the only one that was on fire today.
Ow! I was racking up planks left and right.
Oh, yeah. I made a bunch of money today, too. Yay!
If we keep going like this, we are gonna be running this town. Ladies, I think we're becoming the badass kingpin bitches we was born to be! Rita, the pipe, please.
Ooh, she's gonna smoke with us.
Oh, yeah, boy! I'm gonna get some bagel bites up in this bitch! Wait.
Do you have any...
Shit. We sold all the weed, didn't we? Fuck! Where is everyone?
Well, we could always call Eli.
No.
What's wrong with Eli?
You know, he's just kind of...
What's up?
Hey, Eli.
Wow, it's so good to see you guys. Honestly, I didn't think you'd make it this long, but I'm so happy you're alive. It's awesome. Hungry?
Oh, thanks.
Cool. Well, as you can see, I have decked out mi casa, getting ready for Y2K. You guys know it's gonna be the end of the world, right?
Yeah, that's super cool, but we're
If
actually
we could just
here-
get some drugs, dude.
Yes, yes, I love drugs. Come on here. Have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is now that time of the evening where I introduce to you my newest badge. Weed and Weed. Very proud of it. I'm a proud poppy.
How much?
Due to recent events, I have had to raise my prices a little. So, unfortunately, it's gonna be $600 for this.
We're not paying
Are you high?
Is that a serious question?
Come on, Eli. We're your favorites.
Yeah, our other guys don't charge us half as much.
That is very funny. Like, there's still dealers around. I get it.
Wait, what?
Oh, no, you guys didn't know. Oh, you probably thought you were doing so well. Oh, Grrl Scouts. Breaking my heart. Seriously, though. All over town, dealers have been vanishing left and right. Snatched right up. So I decided to go on the hypernet, do some digging on my own. You know what I found? Nothing. That's how you know they're trying to cover this shit up.
Okay. It's been super fun taking a trip through Crazy Town, but I think we're just gonna go.
So, do you think we should just leave town or something?
What? No, we are so close to running shit.
I'm pretty sure whoever has the portal powers is running shit.
Guys, I have a plan.
First, we take some of this X I borrowed from Eli's place. Then, we get super stoned. Go to Lucifer's Pizza, get an extra large ultimate pizza, all while rolling our faces off.
That's it?
Oh, yeah.
Police, open up!
Just a minute.
Freeze! Guess who's back, bitches? You ain't getting away this time.
Wait, do you know these guys?
Oh, they know us all right. This one committed a...
Daphne!
Ah, shit!
You guys, look! You guys are fucking robots?
Yeah, we're fucking robots. And you're gonna regret that.
Wait a minute. I mean, have we been robots the whole time? I've got a family.
God damn it, Freitas. We've been over this.
Resistance is futile. You belong to Zeph now.
Nice. Rita! Seriously, dude. Like, would it kill you to just, you know, I don't know, get our backs every once in a while? Man, like, right now? I knew it. The fucking Illuminati.
What?
Well then, why don't we pay these Illuminati shit dicks a visit? Show them why you don't fuck with the Girl Scouts.
Or we could just move somewhere they don't have a cult sending robots after us. Even if we can't defeat these guys, how the hell are we supposed to find them?
I would never noticed that before.
Seriously.
Okay, so that doesn't mean we can just burst in there guns blazing or anything.
Okay, this isn't what I expected.
Girl Scouts! Woohoo!
Dude, we thought you were dead!
No, I'm okay. Isn't Zeph the greatest? This party's off the chain, baby! I love you, Zeph!
See you guys, he's totally cool. No need for any epic showdown or anything. Let's just go home.
Rita, we can't just leave him. Look at him. He was obviously brainwashed by that Zeph asshole.
Hey, it's the Grrl Scouts. But the cookie box is the shit, right? Yo, I'm a big fan. Y'all want some refreshments?
Cut the shit, man. We know you ganked our suppliers and sent those robo-cops, those police robots.
Just say RoboCops, that's fine.
So what's the deal? Why are you fucking up our shit?
Whoa. I ain't trying to fuck with you. I'm trying to do business with you, baby birds. You see, it took a little convincing, but I got all the other dealer homies on deck, player.
Yeah, I'm on deck! I'm on deck with Zeph! Woo!
Look at this spooky ass shit. This town is my bitch now. If you decide to roll with me, I'll let you run things by my side.
No thanks. We sell drugs so we don't have to work for dickholes like you.
No thanks. That's cute. You still think this is an option, don't you? You can't say no to us. We're the Illuma fucking Naughty.
Come and get it!
You bitches think this Illuminati shit is a game?
I dead?
You've awakened your inner chi. That's all that matters now.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, what do I do?
I don't know. I'm a dolphin.
Back for more, baby?
She's beginning to believe.
No mortal could ever defeat
So wait, you weren't brainwashed, like, at all?
Oh no, yeah, I was just rolling balls. Zev's actually a pretty chill dude. Sorry, was a chill dude.
No, Eli, he technically just killed me. That's like the opposite of chill.
Well, agree to disagree. I lost a friend tonight.
Hey, so are you like immortal now? Like, what exactly happened?
Yeah, because you were like so dead.
Oh yeah, you were extremely dead.
Honestly, dude, I don't even know.
Whoa.
Well, whatever it was, thank you for saving our asses back there.
Okay, you need to teach me how to like unlock my chi or whatever because I need to learn how to explode people.
I would also like to enroll in the exploding people class.
Okay, guys, well then all you have to do is...
the fools. We will let them think they've won for now, but upon the new millennium they shall truly know our power. Steven, what is the status of Project Y2K? I thought you'd never ask.
Hell yeah, man.
That was incredible.
Wow. So needless to say, we never got a TV series, but we had a year-long shopping deal with Ron Howard and Newform Digital, and Mike Diva and I assembled a team, and we, wrote a Bible and a pitch for the TV show and episode guides, and put a bunch of work into getting it off the ground, but no one bit, no one went for it. We got the crazy pilot, and Jamie, don't be mad at me, but while we were showing the video, I was looking at Mike Diva's YouTube page, and the Grrl Scouts pilot is on Mike's page. So we could have just shown it from his page instead of me sending it to you, but whatever.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad I have it anyway.
So my point of saying that is, though, if you guys want to watch the pilot at any time and spread the word and show it to friends, families, loved ones, your grandma, go to Mike Diva, his channel on YouTube. He has crazy shit over there. And the Grrl Scouts TV pilot has 800,000 views. I say we take it to 1 million. Diva's the man. I love him. He has a music video on his channel that he directed for Doja Cat that has 100 million views on it. So you've all seen his work, Mike. He's gone on to Fame and Fortune and directed music videos for all the biggest pop stars and is at SNL. Jamie, while I talk, do you mind showing the folder of Girl Scouts TV imagery?
Yep, just give me 2 seconds. There we go.
Hell yeah. So we'll just go through this stuff kind of quick, but these, I obviously drew all the stuff by hand that you saw in the animated segments of the pilot. This is me and Mike. This is our production company logo together when we do stuff together. That's me and him, obviously. This is Zeph's Illuminati chambers. Yeah, so we saw this stuff moving. Mike has an animation studio. I think it's is it Lord Danger? There's a studio in LA that he works with that did all the animation on everything you guys saw. So Daphne's little thing. I did costume designs, layouts for my homegirl Jade Thompson was the costume designer on this. So she asked me for designs of what the girls should wear. I gave her these drawings and then we just kind of freestyled it, and she put great stuff together. You can go to the bong drawings. These bong drawings were for the quick segment of when the girls are on the phone and they're trying to order weed. They're trying to find weed in town. I got to shout out my homeboy Justin Stewart because he wound up doing the color versions of all this stuff that wound up in the pilot. This was I did a bunch of unused art that we were going to incorporate in the animated segments of the show or in the credits, or so some of this mixed media stuff you guys are seeing right now, it's just shit that we didn't use. These are my storyboards, hand drawn for the quick animated action scenes of the girls going to town against Zeph's evil henchmen. Some more unused art. This one is just a Daphne drawing. These are the hand-drawn logos that were colored and then used on the 90s style Fresh Prince vibe intro for the pilot. So some of you guys were commenting on it in the chat, but the bait and switch was the intro of the show looks like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, looks like an innocent 90s show. Then we do a hard cut into the reality, which is basically Rita about to have police brutality inflicted upon her by these sinister cops in Freak City. Some more logos, some more unused art. Little quick mixed media watercolor piece there. Gwen drawing. There's Gwen's little title card. Gwen, I should mention the actresses. We had this incredible stellar cast. Anna Akana, who is a legendary YouTuber and now a world famous stand-up comedian, actress. She was in the first Ant-Man movie. I mean, you've seen her in like Netflix movies, TV. She also does music. Ridiculously talented. Really, really great person. So cool to become friends with her. There she is. There she is in full uniform. Can you go back one again, Jamie, with her? So, again, just quick designs, guides that I sent to Jade, and then Jade would come up with the actual costuming, and I'd come in and add or subtract things. So the stuff in this sequence where the girls are chilling at home, all the paintings are mine in the background. The mural I painted on the wall. This is the shitty, dilapidated house that Mike Diva and his roommates lived in at the time. So another thing to mention is when we were making this pilot 10 years ago, I was the oldest guy on the set. I had just turned 40, basically, and everyone else, including Mike, were all in their mid-20s. So everyone was super cool and respectful to me, but they were all like shit, dude, you're 40? What the fuck? And I got to hand draw in Sharpie marker and seal it with hairspray, all the tattoos on the girls. So each day of filming, the girls would come in, get costumed up, and then I'd have to redraw over their tattoos each day. Bonita Robledo is Daphne, and I'm old friends with her. She's amazing. That's a wig that she's wearing. Her and I had to spend an entire day driving around Hollywood to find the perfect fit blonde wig for her, because she's Latina, so she has black hair. The character needed the blonde, and we couldn't dye her hair. So a wig that we then had to take to a wig painter in Hollywood to have those red highlights added on. So I've probably mentioned this before in my career, but I've never just been like a comic book artist. Like, I'm an artist, a freelancer, a promoter, a hustler, a wig wrangler, an animator, a storyboarder, a consultant, a party thrower, a YouTube host. So the way I make my living as a freelancer is doing 57 different jobs at art, you guys. And living in LA for 16 years taught me how to do all these things. Can you go back one? There's Diva, Mike Diva with the hat on, our incredible director. And just a total pleasure working with that dude. He is a genius. Daphne on set, Bonita. So it's cool too, because before I met Mike Diva, Rob Schraub, my homeboy who did the Scud comics, who is involved in Hollywood, he knew Mike Diva and vouched for him and said, "Oh, Jim, you have to work with Mike. He's a genius." This is at the final night of shooting, and the blonde girl is Jade Thompson. Shout out to her. She was our costume designer. Brilliant girl, so cool. We had a killer crew on this shoot. Anna Kana, again, the legend. We got a decent budget from Ron Howard to make this pilot. Mike Diva and I received $0 for our hard work. We put every penny into the pilot, and we wound up making, I think, like negative $2,000 each, because we had to do an entire unscheduled additional day of shooting the fight scene stuff against a green screen on the Yahoo lot out in Santa Monica. Does that sound right, Andrew Soria? There's a Yahoo lot where you shoot stuff. But anyway, Mike Diva and I went out of pocket on that. So the pilot cost us money, but it was totally worth it. Peter Gilroy in the background of this photo plays Eli. Peter was in The Disaster Artist, the James Franco movie about Tommy Wiseau, and he's been on TV stuff, and he's out there. Can you go back to I wanted to give a shout out to Hope Harris. Hope played Rita. She's an incredible actress, model. And one of the most surreal days of my entire life is casting the pilot. Mike and I showed up at Ron Howard's lot where they shoot, and we had 90 girls all dressed up as the Grrl Scouts auditioning for the parts. So like 30 Gwens, 30 Ritas, 30 Daphnes. You might be at a comic book convention and be lucky enough to see someone cosplay your character. Like, that's surreal. You ain't never seen anything until you're sitting in a room and you have 30 girls come in dressed like your characters, and they're reading from your comic book. They're reading as the character, the dialogue you wrote. Super, super amazing, man. So crazy. What a time, man. This was the vest that Daphne wore, and I got the vest from Jade. I was like, hey, can I paint the vest? She was like, yeah, go nuts. So I just used painter's tape and I customized it to fit, you know, the Food One stylings with the star and the arrows, and, you know, wanted to make it look authentic. This is Mike Diva posing with the Girl Scouts. I think this was like a birthday card I gave him or something. There's Rita's little title card. Rita's costume designing. The girls did all did such a great job, man. It was crazy to be on set and just see all this unfolding. But we had a real set. We had a real crew. We had grips. We had assistants. We had craft services. Every morning, everyone would show up at 8 a.m., eat breakfast together, coffee, donuts, shoot for 12 hours. Took us about 4 full days and then 1 additional day to get all that action stuntman stuff with the girls. Was that it on the...
That's everything for these ones.
Oh, cool, man. After this, dude, we're going into... So 2015, the Grrl Scouts pilot. We're still shopping it around. I start coming up with the idea for Grrl Scouts Magic Socks comic book series. Before I do that, I figure I need to draw the girls again in comic book form. So I self-publish the Grrl Scouts 2015 mini comic. This is the only book in my archives, Jamie, that I could not find. So it's somewhere in my shit. I just couldn't find a copy. So we're going to show some digital stuff right now, just some screen imagery. But this was me, you know, drawing the girls for the first time in many years. And Justin Stewart did the gray tones on this. But this is just a fun story of them all hanging out and having a sandwich competition contest after they've gotten super high together. But you can tell, you know, if you remember the work sucks stuff I showed you guys, the evolution in style, this has now become very cartoony, very anime, manga influenced, super expressive, super cartoony. Check out that bottom panel, the sandwich fascists panel. That's like a really fun. So I'm just getting back into the groove of working with the girls again. And while all this TV pilot stuff is going on. So the sandwiches don't work out and they wind up going to a sushi restaurant. And then Daphne gives the sushi owner Chin a box of they disguise their weed in cookie boxes. So she's like, hey, Chin, like, you know, be careful with this shit. And he says he's gonna go outside and smoke. Rostin Meyer in the chat. What up, brother?
It's interesting, Jim, when you were talking about this being the first time you'd drawn them in like your kind of later style. What work were you doing between this and like the work suck stuff to develop this style? Like, how did this come about between the two of those?
Oh, damn. Well, I mean, too many projects to mention, but the major ones are all my Tank Girl work came around 2010, 11. What changed my drawing style in 2007, 2008, and Jamie, we're going to do like a deep dive video on this stuff at a future date. Kick Drum Comics through Image changed my style into the more expressionistic Ashley Wood, Bill Sienkiewicz, Gonzo style. Then I went into Tank Girl, and then in 2014, I did the Miami Vice remix comic book for Lion Forge, which was published by IDW. So I had all these, you know, books and advertising. I did the entire Colt 45 advertising campaign in 2007, 2008. I was exhibiting in art galleries in LA, still rocking the live art, lots of advertising art, commercial art, commissions. So yeah, I mean, the style just kind of changes organically, but also through, reinvention, like self-imposed reinvention,
That's so interesting.
Quick little story. Or you can go back one, Jamie, if you don't mind. Just a very quick little storytelling mistake here. I don't show Chin outside freaking out, and his wife smashes into the room and tells the girls, but there should have been a fun one-off panel or even a splash page of Chin freaking out with a psychedelic freak out. Andrew Soria, my boy, is asking, what was the name of the bar you painted? Winston's, Andrew, on Santa Monica in West Hollywood, owned by Andy Frisella, who owned the Dime on Fairfax. And also, Andy Frisella was an actor who was in the MTV show. I don't know the name of the show, you guys, but there was an MTV show about a kid in high school who had a huge dick. I don't know. Andy was the gym coach, but Andy saw my work and commissioned me to do Winston's, Andrew. And I went in there and he let me destroy his entire bar with wheat pasting and graffiti, and it was awesome. Final page, the girls in action, dynamic, and Daphne hands off her mutated, super gross burger that she brought to the restaurant for some reason to Chin's wife. I don't know. Fun last panel though. So with this mini comic, I did deluxe versions of it. Only 100 of these where I custom drew pieces on the back cover. So here's some of the back covers that I did if you ordered this through my website. I enjoy doing stuff like this. You self-publish something and then you do a one-off. Like I'm going to do 100 and draw on the back of these, and they cost a little bit more, but you get the custom drawing and then you get stickers and a print or something, Quick mixed media pieces straight to ink. These are the girls, but this is like the warm-up stuff, getting ready for Magic Socks. Love doing the hand lettering. Love adding that. The white is all added with whiteout pens.
That's so good. That's all of those.
Cool, man. After that, what do we have, Jamie? We're going into Magic Socks. We're going into 2017. Before I show the actual comics, Andrew Soria is in the chat, who is missing in the chat, and I'm going to give him a lot of shit for this. If he's not here right now, maybe he'll watch later. Andrew's little brother, Stephen A. Soria, is a great friend of mine, the Soria brothers. They're legends in Los Angeles. Everybody knows them. Steve Soria shot all these Magic Socks promo videos with me basically co-directing, but Steve would show up and I'd be like, this is what I want to do. This is the vibe. This is my apartment. These are all shot around my building in my apartment in LA, starring Anna Akana, Bonita Robledo, and Hope Harris, our homegirls from the Grrl Scouts TV pilot. Jamie, are you good to go on those?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Cool. Hell yeah. So, shout out to Dweezil Zappa. Frank Zappa's son gave me all of that music to use in the promo videos because I was doing all of Dweezil's tour merchandise at that time. And he was such a great guy to work with. Him and his wife were so cool. He was super supportive of everything I was doing. And as part of the payment, obviously he gave me money to do all of the illustration work I did for him. But I was also like, dude, can I get instrumentals from your new record? Pass them on to Steve Soria and we'll put them in the promo videos. And he said, of course. So thank you, Dweezil. Thank you, Stephen A. Soria, my homeboy.
Who is in the chat, by the way?
Oh shit. Okay, you are here. You better be here, slacker. What the fuck, dude? Okay, now I'm a little less upset now, Steve. I'm okay now. I'm okay. Because, bro, I wanted to fucking thank you live on the interwebs for all your incredible work, doing all the promo stuff for me, dealing with me annoying the shit out of you, calling you, asking you to come over to shoot these videos, annoying you with late night text messages saying, we need the video, the book's coming out, cut the video, where's the video? You probably cutting these videos at 3 a.m. under the influence of various substances. We're not going to get into that, Steve. We're not going to get into that right now, bro. But I do want to say thank you again, dude. Incredible work. So fun, right? Like, that's how you promote a comic book, you guys. That's how you promote. And that's back in 2017. People are starting to just get hip to doing this kind of stuff, making YouTube, making commercials. Don't want to brag too much. Don't want to say I was ahead of the curve. But Jamie, you know, some people say, Jim, is he the greatest hustler in the history of independent comic books? Probably.
I've heard that many times.
Probably. I'm gonna give it to myself. Enough bragging, enough shenanigans. Girl Scouts Work Sucks 2017. A brand new Odyssey. Fully painted cover by me. Here's the original for that bad boy, that bad girl. This is straight ink, no penciling. Go straight to ink. Throw down some watercolor, spatter some ink, go in with the white out, and we're in and out in one afternoon. So I would just get photo reference and look at it. And it's the opposite of what I'm doing now with my covers, where I'm meticulously penciling things out and planning. This series, it's like I wanted the fresh, crazy energy. Covers on this, my cover, Scotty Young representing with the issue 1 cover. Thank you so much, Scotty. And then this was also Spawn month at Image when this book came out, my first issue came out. So every creator for this month had the option of doing a Spawn themed cover for his 25th anniversary. Happy 25th, Spawn. Shout out to the Todd Father. And shout out to my homies at McFarlane Productions in Arizona, because this very cover is sealed and graded and in their office. And the Todd Father is forced to look at this basically every single day of his life, which I think is awesome. Shout out to Thomas Healy, editor-in-chief at McFarlane, for making that happen. The first issue of this series sold out, which I was thrilled about. This is the cover for the second printing. And I saw Eli Schwab in the chat. Shout out to Eli. He mentioned this. When the first issue came out, we did a signing at a shop called Quest in downtown LA. And Shop Called Quest printed up these super dope tote bags. So you get your book, you get it signed, and you can walk away with an ultra fresh tote bag. Let's look at Girl Scouts Magic Socks. And also, guys, if you want to look through the promo videos for Magic Socks, are all on my YouTube page if you want to watch them. Again, show your uncle, show your family. I'm sure they'll all be super impressed and entertained by our stone efforts.
Speaking of the videos, Stephen just said, shout out to Teddy who edited the title cards for the Girl Scouts ads.
Teddy, yes, of course. Yes. Is Jane Dope here as well? Is Carmen here? I see you guys shouting out Jane Dope. Okay. Well, because speaking of Carmen Acosta, Jane Dope, this was our first comic book effort working together. Carmen did production and design on this and did a killer job. And my homeboy, Justin Stewart, Dr. Pastrami, you guys all know him. You all love him. Coloring and lettering on this series together. One of our finest collaborations. I'm super proud of this work, Justin. I start the book off in the credits page with a quick recap of who the Girl Scouts are. And then we're introduced to a new character who is Josie. Crazy little Josie is in a psych ward. This is Daphne's cousin, and she's going to cause the Girl Scouts a whole heap of trouble in this new series. This was a step up for me, drawing wise, storytelling wise, collaborating with Justin. I believe with Justin on some of the stuff, I would maybe give him a couple rough color ideas, like Josie's hair is purple. We would always work together. It's interesting because when Justin would turn in pages to me, my initial reaction would always be, oh, okay, cool. Okay, interesting. And it wouldn't be, I'd have to always marinate on it and sleep on it in a way, because it's someone else touching my art that's very sacred to me. Like I'm not going to let any knucklehead come in and manhandle my art, Jamie. I'm not going to let some amateur come in and lay down colors on these beautiful drawings that I've done. So with Justin, he does such a killer job that like it takes a couple days for it to sink in for me. And then I look at the work and I'm like, oh shit, dude, we're rocking and rolling here. Like, look at this stuff. Look at these color selections.
So good.
And looking back on it now, like it's almost like the more time passes, the more I really appreciate and value the collaborative effort we put on this project. And even Justin's decisions of the colored word balloons on certain panels, you know, I mean, I don't think I told him to do that. I think that's all him just doing that. And it just looks great. This is drugs happening here. And the line of Coke with the razor actually becomes the panel break. The pills that are being consumed, the vibe of partying becomes the panel break. So during this time, I mentioned the first series inspired by Kevin Smith era, 90s kind of vibe, talkative, raunchy, violence, 90s, early 2000s, slice of life, Scott Morse. Let's get the Girl Scouts out of the illegal activities. 2017, I'm looking at lots of manga, lot of anime, a lot of Fooly Cooly, lot of Robert Valley, brilliant animator, director, artist. I think it was before this series, but I wound up working with Robert Valley for a hot minute because he was lead character designer on the Tron animated series that was happening at Disney after the Tron. Jamie, what's the Tron movie that had Daft Punk in it? The Tron Legacy or
Tron Legacy? I think that's the one.
Tron Legacy. Okay. So I don't know if you guys saw it, but that Tron cartoon that Disney was doing at that time was absolutely gorgeous. So Disney brought me on to, they had different artists storyboarding the cartoon. And this is a really weird job, but this kid, Charlie Bean, was the showrunner of the Tron cartoon. And Charlie is a legendary figure in animation in LA. And I just had so much love and respect for Charlie. He asked me to come on, and my job was I was taking storyboards and redrawing them into the Robert Valley style. So this only lasted for a couple of weeks because it became so I don't know how to say it. It became so like soulless of a job. No disrespect to Robert or anything like that. It's not his style I'm talking about. It just became, this just isn't me. Like this type of work isn't me. So I had to call Charlie and remove myself from the project, and he totally understood. Still giving shout outs. We got Frank Zappa, Tank Girl, Bad Brains, The Slits, Hip Hop Family Tree. Shout out to Ed Piskor, Cheech Wizard. Shout out to Vaughn Bodie and Mark Bodie. Samo, Basquiat, Keith Haring, Picasso, Andy Warhol. On the floor of Rita's studio, I Hate Fairyland. Shout out to Scotty Young. Southern Bastards, Bitch Planet. Freak City Diner, holding Rita's art supplies. So basically the Girl Scouts have been estranged, and now they're reunited because Daphne's annoying little cousin is out of the psych ward and is on Twitter talking shit about how she's going to come after the Girl Scouts and murder them. And Daphne's wearing these magic socks. What is the mystery of the magic socks? Girl Scout cookies. This will be the newsletter. And then a whole page dedicated to the soundtrack. We got Crew the Dynamic, Iggy Pop, Anthrax, Kamasi Washington, David Bowie, Descendants, Doug Hareem Blunt, and Rush getting shout outs. JimMahfood.com, Instagram, and Society6. Always promote your own work. Always let people know where they can find your other material. And then this was kind of cool. The first issue ends with me doing a comic called What's This Whole Girl Scout Situation About Anyway? And it's a complete history of me discovering the Tank Girl comics in art school and all my different hairstyles and facial hair, making all the different iterations of Girl Scouts, including, you know, that Kevin Smith is in here. There's me with Mike Diva teaming up to do the live action. There's our actresses. There's me recruiting Justin to work on Magic Socks, me recruiting Carmen with a little cameo from her dog, Pork Chop. Look at how cute that is. Recruiting them to do art, to do design on the book. And then Jamie, it ends with Magic Socks comes out, and I predict that the book creates world peace and everyone made sweet love and danced naked in the streets, Jamie.
That is exactly what happened as well.
And that's what happened. Totally. Do you guys remember 2017? This book came out and world peace happened. And now everything's fine in the world. So Carmen, this is where her design genius comes in. She just put these collage pages together without me giving her any direction other than here's the material, you know. So ad for the Girl Scouts on YouTube. Next issue cover, back cover, another super badass collage from Carmen. So I don't know if you guys noticed what just happened also, but going from the Girl Scouts Oni series and Girl Scouts Work Sucks, I would allow the publishers to put ads for other books they had coming out in my book. With this series starting off, I hit up Image and was like, listen, I want to do 32-page single issue comics. I want full control over the book. You have no say over what I put in. There's no house ads. It's me from cover to back cover doing everything. Ads for my own product, pinups, letters column. It's all me, baby. And Eric Stevenson at Image was like, yeah, of course, dude. Like, just do. He's like, calm down, dude. Like, he's like, it's fine. Just do what you want to do. Jesus Christ. Mixed media cover on issue 2. Here's the original art of that. Oh, real quick though, I forgot to show that's the original for issue 1 second printing. You got some of the hand cut zip in there. Look at that. Watercolor. You're in, you're out. No fuss, no muss. Issue 2 original.
That's insane.
Get grimy with it. And man, another holy shit moment of my entire career, you guys. My cover, variant cover by Bill Sienkiewicz. What the hell? We could just end the stream right here, Jamie. This is like my mic drop moment. Recruiting Bill to do this. We became friends. He's like an older brother. Love Bill. He's one of the greatest American illustrators who's ever lived, obviously. I hit him up so far in advance. I feel like it was almost a year in advance. And he was like, I'm going to need 9 months to do this cover. And you're going to have to remind me once a month to do it. So you have to check in with me all the time. He's like, I want to do it. I love your work. I'm flattered to do it. But you have to just remind me. And I did remind him up until he literally turned in the high-res file to this the day the book was going to the printer. So Bill, I love you. If you're watching this, shout out to you. Thank you so much. But you had me on the edge of my seat with stress and anxiety because Image was like, where's that Sienkiewicz cover? We're literally going to print today. So as you can see, you guys, well worth the wait. Unbelievable.
Incredible cover.
Unbelievable. Issue 2, quick little recap of the previous issue. Justin coming out the gate swinging. We do. Okay. So we do. We're getting the history, the origin of the magic socks, and on this is a cool, fun thing. But we got the color palette changing to indicate the flashback with the blue and the gray, which I think is a super cool, super sexy color palette. Because the socks are blue, so it's like just make the socks blue and make the blue be the magic and the energy. Look at this.
Justin said this was the start of the blue pages.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of gonzo. So the ultra violence with my work is kind of really ramping up here too, where in the previous series you would see like blood splatters, and now the gore is being ramped up, and I'm really, really interested in going for that visceral, like 80s VHS, show everything, show entrails. It's a comic book. Let's make it fun. Let's make it crazy. This is so funny because this is from 2017 and so much of this is still contemporary. We have a reference to the evil of Hitler and a reference to the evil of Puff Daddy. So the joke is throughout history, all of these sinister, evil fucks have had the magic socks influence them in a sinister way. So it's like Genghis Khan, Hitler, Nixon, and P. Diddy. Jamie, I predicted
I was going to say
goddamn future.
Ahead of your time there, Jim.
I predicted the future, Jamie. So the socks end up in the Old West, and they somehow get to our Grrls in the future. That's a pretty sweet little close-up right there with the fangs. an orgy of sorts. Yeah, fun checking this stuff out. Daphne is a dickhead in this series and out for her own, and she winds up drugging the other Girl Scouts. And once the drugging, the poisoning goes into effect, the art gets crazy, the color goes crazy. I was also going through this phase with this series of like these crazy elongated bodies on the girls. I'm not sure what caused that. I think it was from looking at Fooly Cooly and like Kill la Kill and anime where things are just completely stretched and pulled, and there's no reason to rely on reality or proportions. Daphne walks away from the girls and says, "Good night, sweet prince." And then we have a cameo from Prince in the book. Me? His royal badness. Daphne confronts her cousin Josie and gets the living shit kicked out of her. I like this color decision too. Justin is leaving Daphne and some of the characters in some of these intense action scenes white, where you just have the blood spattering out of them. And it creates a really great effect. Yeah, man, Grrl, Dead Leaves. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Dead Leaves anime, huge inspiration also during this period and just in general. That's another one I forgot to mention. Good eye on your part. Crazy action. I love doing this kind of panel arrangements. Everything is crunched together and tight and chaotic, and but that's the tone of the scene. It's like this is pure chaos leading up to this very dramatic moment of Daphne basically being defeated, kneeling in a pool of her own blood with her cousin aiming a gun at her forehead and pulling the trigger. So we have a murder of a Girl Scout. Letters page, fan art. Shout out to my homeboy Jeffrey Shagawat, who passed away during this period, actually when the first issue came out. Jeff became one of my best friends. He was neighbors with me in my apartment building in Hollywood. We went on to do crazy art shows together, literally all over the world, where he would shoot film photography and I would draw and paint on top of his photos. And we caused as much drunken, drug-fueled gonzo destruction that you could possibly cause in a lifetime without going to jail. And any of our friends in the chat, Dave Crosland, Justin Stewart, the Soria brothers, can vouch for this behavior because they were part of it. Bill Shag forever. That's right, Justin. What do we got here? Oh, so soundtrack, Pimpage, Little Baby Rita, more gorgeous Carmen Acosta collage pages. Look at that ad. Benita licking the sword blade as Daphne. Jamie, who's making comics like this, bro? Ain't nobody making comics like this. Back cover flavor. Oh, and that's the telephone. The that's from the Girl Scouts live action pilot you guys saw. That's the actual drawing that was used in the phone sequence. So there you go. Issue 3, fully painted cover. Let's check out original art for that. There we go. I noticed that there's something on the back of this. This was an attempt at maybe something else. My cover and Booyah, going back to the old school, the homeboy Mike Huddleston, still on board, still one of the best friends, still a brother from another mother. His cover for issue 3, completely badass, absolutely gorgeous, all digital. Mike figured out how to take his oil painting, practical painting chops that he got in art school and apply it to digital to the point where this is the exact same style of what his practical paintings look like. This is really cool. Rita in the background here. And then I love this shape of like the eyes lead you through Daphne, but then coming out of Daphne, we have this beautiful shape of Gwen holding the big ass gun. This is very like Elektra Assassin to me, very like Sienkiewicz cover vibe, cover magic. So and cool. I think Mike told me the whole color palette of this cover, he's like, well, dude, I just took Justin's color palette from the book and used that for the cover. Welcome to Girl Scouts headquarters, where your happiness is our highest priority. So leading into this series, I started to develop this backstory for the Girl Scouts where their origin is actually linked into some sort of ancient secret cult. And you're starting to get traces of this cult in this issue because the cult has now become aware that one of the Girl Scouts was murdered. And action needs to be taken. This is such crazy storytelling shit. This is like such a bizarre story. Josie winds up becoming like a pop star. Like all of this is satirizing Twitter culture, Instagram culture. I mean, nothing has changed. She basically becomes an influencer. And no one, including the sheriff of Freak City, the main cop, like no one cares that she's a murderer. Like everyone just thinks that this is cute and acceptable. And these are her like brainwashed TikTok followers. And I didn't mention her muscle, the guy wearing the Bart Simpson helmet. His name's Simpsy, and he is a super fun character to draw and is like her main henchman. Rita paints a mural in tribute to Daphne. Rita is in the wrong territory, gets attacked by thugs, and fights, but is getting her ass kicked. Cool little storytelling moment here. A fist from out of nowhere. The camera pulls back. It's Gwen, and she's just calmly standing there with fist extended after she knocked this dude out, a KO with one punch. The girls figure they have to take action to get revenge. So they go on one last night of debauchery where there's like hookups and drugs and booze and scandalous activities happening. This secret cult is actually going to resurrect Daphne from the dead. The Azarian tribe, which was a sister tribe to the Girl Scouts, dating back to like feudal Japan times. So a lot of new, interesting, weird, psychedelic ideas introduced to this book, along with the actual imagery and the coloring, but just the ideas themselves, like, you know, things are getting pretty strange here. A little cameo from Carl, the cat that makes peanut butter sandwiches. The girls drunkenly show up at Carl's place and they're like, dude, you got to help us out. He hits the keypad. Like, this is such a great trope of like movies or comics. He hits the keypad. The door opens. Shangri-La, ladies. The full arsenal of weaponry that that Carl has.
That's so
the girls get suited up. Let's get into some gangster shit. Oh, damn. You know, the next issue, it's going to get crazy. Letters page. We got some awesome fan art. We got our unofficial soundtrack. We got some black and white unpublished art. Another badass Carmen Acosta collage. Anna Akana as Gwen for the Girl Scouts live action ad. Back cover magic. Carmen on the design. So great. Carl the cat, baby. Issue 4, full painted cover by me, mixed media magic. Here's the original for that. This is like lazy. I didn't even bother to take the black to the edges on this, but you get the idea. Lauren YS, the incredible Squid Liquor. I don't know if you guys know her on Instagram. She's a world famous muralist. She's painted unbelievable murals all over the planet. Incredible illustrator. Was the understudy of Nichos, the muralist who does the you guys have all seen them online. He does the murals of like characters deconstructing into like skeletons and muscle tissue. And but Lauren's my homegirl. She knocked this out of the park. Look at how unique all the girls look. They're gorgeous fashions. So beautiful, man. I love it. Shout out to Squid Liquor. If you're not following her, get on it. Quick recap. The issue starts in black because it's told from Daphne's point of view. She's dead and she's waking up to a strange voice, and she's in the afterlife now, and she's waking up to straight up Hunter S. Thompson, guys. You know, I got to put Hunter in my comics. He makes an appearance in Savage Street Vigilante. So these are full mixed media pages that are painted and zip-a-toned by hand, all practically on the board. And I'm using this tan paper that I like so much that I would buy this. This crescent paper from Dick Blick, and then they stopped carrying it. They stopped making it. So I just want to look real quick, guys. I just want to make sure. I think I got originals. No, I don't. Okay. I destroyed my loft over the last week, pulling out all of this material, Jamie, and going through like all my files and stuff. So, with the originals, with the first series, the Oni series, I sold most of the original art. Work sucks. I sold some things. With Magic Socks, I definitely regret this. I sold a handful of pages from the first issue, but then I own all the rest of the material. And the last series we'll be looking at tonight, the Stone Ghost series, I own every piece of original art. So at this point with Grrl Scouts, I think, I don't know, I'll probably just hold on to all the originals.
So we had a good question about that earlier on, about why you would hold on to the originals for this stuff and for any reason other than sentimentality.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. There's something more personal about them. And I guess for me, if there was an option of possibly selling an entire issue at a time to a high-end collector for a good amount of money, that could be an option. But it feels weird at this point just to break up the books. I don't know. And I also have a fantasy maybe of one day, like what if there was like a Girl Scouts retrospective art show of some sort, and I was able to, display complete runs of the original art. Brandon Graham in the house. What up, buddy? Thanks for joining us, Brandon. Brandon, I'm showing a variant cover for you did for me for Stone Ghost in a little bit here. So Hunter is giving Daphne the lowdown on surviving the afterlife and why she's there. She's there because she's been a terrible person, and she needs to pay for that. This is crazy because, like, with a page like this is all done on the board, and then I'll take blue painter's tape, put it down on the sections I don't want painted, put a piece of tracing paper on top of this whole page, and then I'll cut out with an X-Acto knife this red lake area, take the art outside, and I'll just hit that with spray paint. So that's just red spray paint directly hit on that art, and it gives it a nice airbrush 80s look. Like Sienkiewicz was doing this same technique in books like Electra Assassin. It's just he was using an airbrush, and I will use spray paint because I'm not going to go to the effort of cleaning an airbrush. It's too complicated. Hunter cracks open some drugs, and then we go back to Freak City, back to reality, back to the normal comic, with Josie and her wacky brand of madness, killing off, just murdering like the citizens of Freak City. No one can stand in her way. Gwen and Rita are going to take her on and probably die. And Gwen's like, this might be the last time we get faded together. Geez, I hope not. And I love this panel. Gwen's like, let's go fuck up some teenagers. She takes a swig of the whiskey.
So good.
Not a bad drawing of a truck there. Vehicles are sometimes difficult to draw. Back to the crazy afterworld, afterlife. This is wild shit. I mean, I don't know, I get in the bad habit of like, I just make my comics for me, but then there's times where I'm like, oh yeah, the average Wednesday warrior who buys like Superman, when they go into the comic shop, what are they even thinking of this? If they're even picking it up? I mean, they're probably picking it up and then immediately putting it back down. But Sam Keith vibes, by the way, on like the shape there and those thighs. And Sam Keith, also a huge inspiration, and especially for this afterlife stuff. His painted pages that he would do in the Max, I could only hope to come remotely close to what that guy is capable of doing. Letters page, fan art, fan photos. Got the social media pimpage. The unofficial sounds are Clutchy, Hopkins, Body Count, Of Montreal, The Cult, Black Milk, Chicano, Batman, Dennis Coffey, Miles Davis, and Thundercat. Can't go wrong, guys. Beautiful collage double page spread from Carmen Acosta. Shout out to her. She even put some of my layouts in there, which I like. Hope Harris as Rita on the Girl Scouts ad. That's badass. Carmen took those lips and that mouth and just that back cover. Really cool. Issue 5, guys. Let's check out some original art. There's the original painting for issue 5. The hand-cut zip. The crazy-ass patterns that include Pac-Man and yin-yang symbols and ghosts from Pac-Man on Rita's leggings that she's wearing. Eliza Ivanova on the variant cover. I have this original hanging up like right in front of me, but I'm not going to take it down. Eliza used to work at Pixar, unbelievable illustrator, animator, artist. And then she broke out and became like an Instagram star. She goes by Eliza, I believe, still on Instagram. She's exhibited all over the world, her art. I mean, if you know her work, you know it. Like she's just an unbelievable artist, and the super fresh styles, man. Daphne with a chainsaw. This is like a precursor to Savage Street Vigilante. Issue 5, guys. Gwen and Rita behind the wheel of the truck, going into action. I forgot to explain that Josie and her crew have these magic cell phones that they have an app on their phone that can project weapons and monsters and all sorts of crazy shit. This is a nice splash page here. The girls, he's crushing their car and they jump out of the car, and we get the silhouette with the Girl Scouts magic socks lettering also falling out of the car. The girls hit the ground, go into action. People are exploding. Body parts are flying. We're getting more of the crazy anime manga where things aren't even, I mean, there's no trace of reality in a lot of this stuff. And also with this series, I should have mentioned earlier, but with the page constructions, you know, much more of an open line art style for me in this series, where there's lots of panels where you don't even get backgrounds. And then Justin would come in with the colors and add those halftones that a movie called Into the Spider-Verse would eventually borrow from us. Right, Justin? I'm not salty. I'm not complaining because I got paid by Sony for Into the Spider-Verse. You know, I did do character designs for them, and they took a lot more than just the character designs. They took a lot of like vibe and magic of my world and the colors and what we're doing. And so it's all very flattering. It's all love. Daphne flying through the air with a little cat for some reason. And the cat's like, why am I involved with this? This panel is just straight pencil, like just, so I'm just doing all sorts of weird shit and doing whatever I want, especially with these afterlife pages of Daphne realizing what a horrible person she is and realizing she only has one last chance to redeem herself. That's a pretty cool. I like that, with Hunter and all elongated behind her. Gwen and Rita are in full action against Josie and the gang. This is I'm still happy with that panel, that bottom one with Gwen has just run through this line of people and chopped off all of their hands so they can't use their cell phones, and you get like that nice, badass, dramatic sword pose, blood flying.
So good.
Pure action, guys. What else do you want in a comic book? Comics should be fun and are fun. And it's a medium where a creator like me and you guys don't need a budget other than a budget for pencils, pens, ink, and some paper. And I can make this scope of a story, you know, whereas if Girl Scouts, the TV show, had happened, you know, there's budget, there's limits, there's CGI, there's a whole crew of people. This is basically just me and Justin Stewart making this crazy shit. It's very, very liberating to work this way. I encourage everyone to write and draw their own stuff, or write and film your own stuff. It's cool to collaborate, but try doing at least one project where you're rocking everything yourself and see what happens. Daphne's given this magic key to make everything right. I'm sort of not consistently telling the story in order of what's happening. She gets one last chance to go back to the world and redeem herself, and so she takes it. She goes to the door. We dissolve into splatter fan art. Look at this. Look at this Grrl fan art. Look at these pieces. These are great. Dusan Čekovic. It's a Dutch or Swedish name. Anyway,
you're probably right.
Look at this piece. That piece is awesome too. Grrl Scouts, unofficial sounds and pimpage. You can tell that I enjoy the pimpage. I like promoting. This is a great double page spread that is just shoes. The girl, I don't know if this is a shoe fetish thing on Carmen's part. She sent this to me. I was like, what is this? I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, I get it. Okay, it's just shots of shoes. The book is called Magic Socks. Okay, I get it. I get it. I'm sometimes slow. When I'm collaborating with people, I don't know what's going on. That's a badass back cover collage. The 6th and final issue brings us the conclusion of the story, you guys. Here's the original art on that. Ink, watercolor, zipatone, and some sort of interesting paper pattern I found at the art store that I cut out and just straight up glued onto the artwork, which creates a cool little effect there. Who do we have on the variant cover for issue 6, Jamie? Eric Canetti in the house.
That's nuts.
Ink pulp in the house. Colored by Rico Renzi. Fantastic job from both of these guys. The little funny Easter egg thing back here on Gwen's shirt, it says CNT, cunt, which I thought was funny. I think someone in production at Image might have sent me an email. It was like, cunt is on the cover.
It could have been
cunt. That? Yeah, my mind goes to the filthy stuff first. But I'm like,
of course.
I'm like, have you seen the interiors of the book? Does it really matter? Issue 6, guys, final issue. We get a recap. We get Josie holding some sort of propaganda rally, and the Grrl Scouts are captured by her. And Daphne reemerges in the real world. Topless, of course. I got to throw that in. And the Izarian tribe lets her know what's going on, and she is able to transport to the location conveniently to wreak havoc. She's back from the dead. And it turns out the key that she got is actually, it breaks in half. It's actually a fake key. Again, guys, this book available in trade paperback on my website right now. Come signed. We're having a sale. If you want the full story, just buy the book and read the story and experience the crazy glory for yourself. That's a cool, intense panel of her getting choked out and about to die again for real until she finally says the magic words, "I'm sorry." And this creates the actual key to come out of her. And now we're rocking and rolling. Now we're getting the intergalactic outer space, demonic, positive powers possessing Daphne so she can do the right thing. I probably should have mentioned before we started this stream that full spoilers on all these books, but It's probably too late for that. Steve Soria is texting me. Okay, thank you, buddy. Happy anniversary to you too on Girl Scouts, because you're part of this, whether you like it or not. So Daphne is able to unleash the full power of the magic socks, and then she just basically has the power of Akira and brutally murders all the evildoers, including poor Simpsy. This is the final confrontation between Daphne and Simpsy. And he dies. And she's about to kill Josie. She stops. Josie explains to her that this whole time, all she ever wanted in life was to be accepted and to be a Girl Scout. They hug and they make up with each other. And Rita's like, oh, so beautiful, so cute. And then Josie gets murdered by that dumb cop who showed up in issue 2. So crazy ass ending. The Girl Scouts fight the cops. They hug. That's a cool panel of the girls. Get some fun dynamic action shots. Again, stacking those panels. Stacking that action. Those heads popping off those bodies. As she hugs Rita, she has like a Return of the Jedi moment where she looks up and she sees that Josie is alive in the afterlife with the stoned uncle who appeared earlier in the series. I didn't really talk about him that much, but everything's well. You get to see the Force ghosts at the end of the book. Like, okay, it all works out. What about you, fearless leader? Gwen gives her a smile and a hug. You smell like total shit. Hey, I love you too. We ended on a sweet note and an epilogue where Daphne is climbing up a cliff and she gives the magic socks back to one of the ancient aliens that delivered them to Earth in the first place. And then says, ooh, one thing before you go, blaze a J with me? Sure. That's how you end a Girl Scouts comic book. Letters page. This is the cover I did for Eli's Ween fanzine. We got photos of people posing with their Girl Scouts comics, which I love. So flattering. Oh, Mike Haynes, I believe, is in the chat. There's Mike posing with his books. Shout out to Mike. Mike is a curator of my art and comics, and I think owns at least one copy of literally everything I've ever published. We get the soundtrack page. We get, one final collage jam page, Girl Scouts YouTube ad, one final Carmen Acosta badass graffiti inspired back cover, and we're out. And I did forget to mention, this was also my other variant cover for issue 6. There was a Walking Dead themed month at Image where you could pick any Walking Dead cover you wanted and redraw it with your characters. So I chose this cover of Walking Dead where like this was Negan pointing, and it was the black girl that holds the samurai sword. And so I recreated that as Simpsy with Daphne. Guys, that is Girl Scouts Magic Socks. Jamie, where do we go next? Yes, some filler material. Here's some Girl Scouts stickers that were printed. I was giving these out at conventions during this time. If you ordered the deluxe mini comic, you got stickers. This was a pop-up, a construction I sent to Rost and Meyer, who made a pop-up of this image. This was a cover I think I was going to possibly use for Daphne, but it just Yeah, I just nixed it, but I like this idea of her with the hair and the different panels, and the energy of it is fun. This was also done as a pop-up, I believe, that Rostin and I included in a deluxe pop-up funk package. Rostin saying yes, so I think that's what happened. Character designs for Josie's gang, for Simpsy. Getting these characters down. These are my script pages where I type up a ghetto script for myself, not full descriptions of the panels, but definitely all the dialogue, who's saying the dialogue. And then I do my layouts for the pages just directly on the script. You know, I print these out and it's just drawing directly on the typing paper. There's some more of those. And more of those, yeah. There's the pop-up, Rostin. That was... Dude, what was this part of? This was... Oh, you made like 5 or 10? Okay. Yeah. Again, you guys, going through my archives with all the shit that's labeled Grrl Scouts, or I mean, I have 28 years of folders and boxes full of this material. So some of this stuff, I don't even know what some of it is. This was definitely used. This is the front and back cover of the first enamel pin I made. I made Grrl Scout logo pins, and I gave them out as gifts to the screening party when we did the live action pilot. We had a party at Mike Diva's house on his birthday and showed the pilot on the big screen, and I gave out pins to everybody, and it was great. Tony the Toaster, who appeared in the beginning of the Magic Socks comic book, some designs for him.
And that's everything for those ones.
Okay, cool. On to Grrl Scouts 2020, which, Jamie, you have.
This one?
Yes. So, guys, the TV show didn't get picked up, but in 2020, Grrl Scouts got optioned as an animated series by the world famous actress Margot Robbie and her husband Tom Ackerley. Wonderful people. They have a production company called Lucky Chap, and Lucky Chap reached out to me. Lucky Chap, in conjunction with Screen Arcade. Screen Arcade was also a producer on the Birds of Prey movie that Margot was in as Harley Quinn. I'm trying to keep all this stuff straight in my brain. So we went into production in 2020 on a Grrl Scouts animated show with all these amazing people, and Starburns attached as the animation studio. Starburns made the first season of Rick and Morty. Peter Chung was attached as our director, the guy who did Eon Flux. Holy shit. And Disney, of all people, optioned the property. So Disney at this time was going to make their own Adult Swim style block of adult cartoons. So remember, Rick and Morty and Adult Swim was red hot at this point. We start talking about all this in like 2018, 2019. The deal goes through in 2020. We start working on the pilot in 2020 during COVID. So the idea of Disney even doing this is insane. But the idea was they make a block of these edgy cartoons, and I believe they were all going to be streamed on Hulu. So one of the great things that came out of this was I got my homegirl, Kate Freund, who is married to Rob Schraub. We keep going back to Rob's name throughout this show, but Kate came on board as my head writer for the show. Because when we were pitching the show, they were like, you in 2020 as a straight man can't be the writer of an all-female show called Grrl Scouts. Remember, this is the beginning of the I don't want to say these words, but this is this is the beginning of the woke era. Like, and so there's certain rules with Hollywood if you're a man that you can't do. I'm just telling you what happened. This is just the truth.
That's insane.
Facts. So I had executives on Zoom meetings telling me things like, yeah, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. They're like, you are the creator. You'll be credited as the creator. You can be art director, character designer, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you need women involved with this. You need a woman head writer. You need a woman such and such. So it's like, sure, that's fine. I don't give a shit about that as long as the woman or the man or whoever they are is the best qualified for the job. So luckily we got the best person qualified for the job, which Kate Freund turned in a killer pilot script and everyone was so excited about it. So we're just going to go through this quick, man, because I want to do a whole other show in the future called Jim's Failed Animation Projects. And we're going to show a bunch of shit that I got optioned in Hollywood through the years that didn't make it to the screen. So this was just a quick character guide, giving everybody involved with the show an idea of what I was going to be doing with things. So now, Jamie, stop on this one. This is a note. When this came up in one of the Zoom meetings, this is how Hollywood worked. And I think it's changing now because too much money was lost from all of this. But there were women in the Zoom. We have a woman head writer. We have women producers in the Zoom. Everyone's locked at home. Everyone's got nothing to do but get on fucking Zoom meetings all week long. None of the women gave a shit about this image. One of the white, ultra sensitive, straight men in the chat who was a producer was like, Jim, this is too sexy, man. This is going too far. This is too sexy. And here's how it works, the partnership. Before I could say anything, Kate jumped in and was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, what? It's not too sexy. This is like what a girl would wear to the gym or the club or like what? No. And none of the other women said anything. So I started, having these issues of like, oh, that's right. I draw sexy girls. This is a property that's based around sexy girls selling weed and kicking people's asses. Anyway, so you can.
So obviously you can't draw sexy girls. That was the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, no one else said anything. I think this dude was just bored and wanted to say things in the chat, in the Zooms. But then as soon as the Zoom would end, I would call Kate and then her and I would laugh and talk shit for like a half an hour about how weird these Zooms were. And dealing with producers and Hollywood people is a whole other thing. And when I do my animation show, maybe I should bring on Kate or Rob Schraub or Dave Crosland or one of my friends that has worked extensively in Hollywood. And because you're working with corporate money and there's all these rules, so character designs for Rita. This is super fun, man. So the pilot starts off with, like we did in the very first Grrl Scouts Oni book in issue 1, starts off with the girls as little kids. And Daphne's wearing this crazy monster hat and has a baseball bat. And she's in front of a grocery store and she's beating the shit out of the real Girl Scouts are there with a table selling their Girl Scouts cookies. And Daphne's beating the shit out of their table and their cookie boxes with a baseball bat. And she's like, this is our territory, bitches.
That's awesome.
Jazz Bunny. Jazz Bunny was going to be a character that possibly narrated or introduced the viewers to the world of the Girl Scouts animated show. Bags Kettlesworth. And can you go to the next one, Jamie? Bags Kettlesworth and Chips. We're these two weird puppet characters that hung out in the show. The Grrl Scouts actually own a coffee shop where they secretly deal weed, and their coffee shop is also sort of a dispensary. And Bags and Chips are these two weird puppets that hang out at the bar and drink all day. And they're like the two old men in the balcony on the Muppet Show that comment on everything. Our main villain, Takeo, the shapeshifter with Lester Smiles. The teeth. So, man. So, okay, this introduces a whole other realm of the Girl Scouts mythology where in the beginning of the universe, when everything was created, a separate evil piece of resin formed into a planet called the Teeth. And he's basically Galactus, and he's traveling through the solar system, consuming all the planets. And he gets to Earth, but goes into stasis. He can't consume anymore. His teeth and gums are filled with too much gunk. And the only thing that will resuscitate him is magic dental floss that can only be made from hemp on planet Earth. So this is like the backstory I came up with for the fucking crazy ass Girl Scout show. And they were like, oh, this is all insane and awesome, but we can't do this as live action. So we'll do this as an animated show. Some other characters, supporting characters. We can go through this kind of quick, Jamie. Mint Julep, though, I enjoy that little girl. Can you go back? Mint Julep was the assistant to one of the bad guys. I like her a lot. More characters, TV reporters. We're getting to some of the gangs and some of the club members. Lots of street life in this show. Lots of stuff inspired by the 70s movie, The Warriors. Lots of different gangs. More club people. Freak City's a weird spot, so you got to populate it with weird characters. Yeah. The little kids that hang out in Freak City, pretty fun. The Knuckleheads are a gang. They're like a punk kind of 80s Michael Jackson Beat It style gang. The Free Clouds are the Bowie glam rock inspired gang. The Fatty Crunksters are the evil all-girl roller derby gang. Tit Goblin's asking if I own any of these characters. Yes, I own all this material. All the rights were reverted back to me when the series did not go to production. It did not get made. So I own all this material. These characters will be showing up in future projects of mine, including the idea, you can't steal this, you guys, this is copyright, trademark, the briefcase that turns into the miniature robot that's a machine gun. This is the Yuppie Gang, the eggshell business cards. The Mandarake Broadway crew, the Japanese samurai gang. Another note I got, Jamie, from the very concerned white male studio executive. Jim, can't do the Mandarake gang. It's too racist. You can't single out Japanese people. And again, Kate jumps in on that Zoom, was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, what the fuck?
This guy's allergic to fun.
I don't know. Is there any Japanese people in the chat that can let me know that that's not offensive? I thought it was fucking badass. This is offensive. This is racist because it's a homage to Matteo Scalera, which is the Mamma Mia, This Ain't Pizza gang. This is the all Italian mob gang. And this was also another note of, you can't have an all Italian gang that are mobsters. I'm like, what? The Sopranos? Like, what? I don't. understand. Again, you guys, 2020, people were very, very freaked out, very concerned. Everyone was walking on eggshells. I don't know enough about, but I'm a dumb guy. I draw comics for a living. I don't know enough about the world, but I think things are starting to calm down a little bit, and you can be rude and crude again, or I don't know. I'm going to stop talking because I don't know what I'm talking about. The biker crank boys, well, this speaks for itself. This is just like, guys that are on speed that are in a biker gang. The Laffy Taffy Crew, a strange steampunk gang. The Shut-ins are this is another note. They're like, you can't have a homeless people gang, but these are like street dweller, alley dweller, the shadows of Freak City as a gang.
And that's all for those ones.
There we go, man. So, long story short, on Grrl Scouts Animated, we worked on this for all of 2020. I got Mike Huddleston involved as a background character designer, world builder. He turned in incredible designs of the Grrl Scouts building, and I'll show those on a future stream. I got Damian Scott, the incredible comic book artist. You guys remember his run on Batgirl, the Asian Batgirl series, super graffiti styled. He was going to help assist me on turnarounds with the character designs. And after a year, some high up executive at Disney put the axe on the whole program. So not just Grrl Scouts, but the whole idea of Disney doing an Adult Swim style block of cartoons, the whole thing just got the axe. And Disney was like, and this makes sense because they're a corporation, but Disney's like, let's put all that money and just make more Marvel and Star Wars shit. Like, why are we going to make cartoons that no one knows what the IPs are? Like, just make more Star Wars. So when they break it down like that, to me, from a money point of view, it's like, well, yeah, I get it, But Jamie, going into our next and almost final part of the show, while 2020 was happening, my pandemic comic book became Grrl Scouts Stone Ghost. And while I was dealing with all the corporate shenanigans and strange, uncomfortable notes from studio executives during Zoom meetings, I was secretly writing and drawing the next chapter of the Grrl Scouts comic book series, where I could just be all me, write, draw, color, letter. I'm going back to basics, going back to doing my own thing. I'm introducing a brand new Grrl Scout, the fourth Grrl Scout, Dio. And before we get into looking at the books, man, can we show the promo videos and follow that with a quick little process video from me? for some new Girl Scouts comics, finished pencils. It's about as tight as my pencils get. And there's a cat observing everything. Also some quick character designs for the bad guys in this scene. There you go. And this is the final inked version of the page that I posted in the first video. Behind the scenes, Girl Scout style. Here's that cat. And there we go, guys. Comics in the making. Have a good one. Yo, yo, yo. Promo videos made by Stephen A. Soria once again. Hell yeah. Guys, Girl Scouts Stone Ghost, published in 2021. And Image Comics. So there is deep dives on each one of these issues on my YouTube, basically like an hour on each issue. So I'm not gonna, fully go into the details of all of these, but I'll show like, this is my solo cover, local comic shop day variant cover, which I think came out pretty sweet. The deluxe Peach Momoko, holy shit, variant cover. Look at that one. So gorgeous. I have the original painting of this hanging in the studio, man. Big, oversized original art on this that Peach blessed me with. We got the Scotty Young variant cover, Scotty's second cover that he blessed me with. Super dope, man, with Dio and little Gordy, the little octopus guy. Ivan Tao did this variant cover. This was retailer incentive cover. So a separate comic shop like commissioned this cover, and Image has this policy where they'll work with comic shops, and then they can commission and choose their artist, and I get approval over that. Ivan Dow, Zhu Orzu, brilliant artist, illustrator out of Singapore. Sawoe, Sawoee, I believe. She's a badass illustrator and does lots of variant covers as well, like stuff for Marvel, and super badass. So yeah, Stone Ghost, you guys, me introducing Dio, a brand new Girl Scout character, also introducing the legendary Turtleneck Jones, Gordy, the little octopus dude. There's our main cast all hanging out, drinking together. Really fun. Dio, I mentioned Jeff Shagawat earlier during Magic Socks, my homeboy who passed away. His passing away is basically part of the Stone Ghost series where Dio has lost her boyfriend and is a heartbroken character and is on a mission to recover his lost ashes, his lost remains. And she gets involved in a whole bunch of crazy shit that she shouldn't be involved in. Sinister Steroid Squad Supreme, 83 big pages, is a comic book that Gordy gives Dio. And then in each issue we have like done on these notebook paper to show like the journaling this is the origin story of Dio and her boyfriend Billy and how they fell in love and his cancer diagnosis and him passing away. But I wanted to put some character in this, some heart in this. So this is kind of almost a fusion. This series is a fusion of all the previous Grrl Scouts series, where even visually you have like some of the mixed media painted stuff. You have Takeo, her lettering is done by Justin Stewart. I'm writing, drawing, coloring, lettering, part of the book. Tone wise, we have crazy, insane stuff, violence, destruction, wild gonzo stuff, but we also have like the heart and some slice of life stuff of Grrl Scouts work sucks. This is a gang that's been recruited to apprehend Dio because they know that she is secretly the descendant of the Butterfly, which is the very first Girl Scout dating back to feudal Japan. One of our main characters takes himself out in the first issue, which is sort of a shocking double-page spread. But he does this because his corpse will reanimate itself in issue 2 as a psychopathic, destructive assassin robot. And as I show this page, I'm going to show off. Here's the original art for this page. And again, this is just, hand cut zip laid down, put the tracing paper on top, cut out these little areas, and just hit that with some blue spray paint. Pretty sweet. And I also got the original for the Comic Shop Day cover. So there's that one. Pure Zipatone glory.
So good.
Thanks, man. So yeah, all of this stuff, like the Stone Ghost series, like I own every part of the original art. Here's some of Peach's original designs. She had this idea of her in a wheelchair with the butterfly wings. Her work is exceptional, and each issue you get a bonus Macho Tailfin comic, which is my psychotic jive talking 70s shark character. Since we last spoke, this goes into the continuation of my last autobio strip, updating everyone about 2017, Magic Socks comes out, Jeff passes away, we're making the cartoon doesn't happen, I'm traveling, I'm at the board making the new book, got to throw in that ad for my own stuff, Skullfunk Radio, Spotify, and online, free mixtapes. I did this in Savage Street Vigilante as well, but I had Carmen Acosta. I should have shouted her out earlier. She obviously did all the design work on this book, and she put together all these ads for me too. So you get ads for the shirts, the books, you get a gallery of all the covers. Coming next issue, back cover advertising One Dangerous Donut. Still available on the shop of my website, guys. And I also wanted to mention my boy Adam Dumper did the logo design for this series. I gave him a series of teeth, fangs to choose from, and then he did the Grrl Scouts and the Stone Ghost. And I thought, one of my favorite logos, man, of all my books. I really love that a lot. I'm going out to Arizona on Wednesday for Adam's wedding next week. So that's pretty cool. Issue 2, my cover, issue 2, variant cover by the incredible Jim Rugg, all drawn by hand, everything on the paper in ballpoint pen. And I know this because I have this original framed and hanging up right over there. So dope. So damn dope. Thank you, Jim Rugg. Issue 2 again. Jamie, I know we're running long here. I'll just
no. Keep it going.
I'll cruise through these, but Takeo is our main bad guy, bad girl, and she's in conjunction working with the Teeth to facilitate the harvesting of the hemp dental rope project on Earth to get the Teeth out of stasis so he can consume the Earth and take over the universe. Turtleneck Jones is dead on the ground, but out of him manifests the robot Nodis, our assassin droid that will now become the protector of Dio. And then we go into full black and white, like 80s comics violence mode here, which is super fun. Dang, badass rocket shoes. Who knew? He's like flying away. That's a nice head explosion right there. Look at that. Got to watch those 80s horror movies. Not as spelled backwards as Satan. And he explains to her there is a duality to all things. Gordy got messed up in the previous issue, and now one of the Azarian tribe girls is bringing him back to health so they can get on the case and rescue Dio. We have another flashback to her and Billy, their early relationship. Super fun, psychedelic comics, guys. Letters page, fan art. Shout out to the Ivory Bunny, Gabby, who does Power to the Panel live stream with Brian Moss. Big ups to Gordo, the art supply delivery boy. My homeboy Juan, this is his dog. I made this series when I was living in Portland, and I would dog sit Gordo on a fairly regular basis when Juan would go out of town. And he became like my little assistant. I didn't mention this, but yeah, I moved to Portland in 2018. So this series was done there, and the Grrl Scouts animated show that didn't happen. More Macho Tailfin coming next issue. Ads. Issue 3, guys. My cover, Matteo Scalera variant cover. Absolutely ridiculous.
Insane cover.
So dope. So I have the original of this also framed and hanging across the room, but look at the detail of there's Takeo, Gordy, Bexu, the Azarian helper, Dio, the magic eye, and Nodis, of course, the crazy assassin. Matteo like redrawing some of my shapes that will end up in this book. This creature, this shape, like Matteo just straight up like redrew that on the cover. Crazy, man. So incredible. The original art for this, pen and ink on the thick tan board with hand cut zipatone.
Such a cool cover.
This starts really cool with like the flashback to the origin of the first Grrl Scout and all this kind of cosmic crazy shit going on. Another flashback to Dio and Billy. Gordy is recovering. Get me out of this wonderful tub of goo and let's go rescue our friend. Got to get a butt shot in there. Some tea and cookies for the road, of course. More madness with Takeo and them. Oh, I have the original for this page because I wanted to show all of this is done analog style. So pen and ink, the hand cut Zipatone on the boards, printing out this pattern, pasting it down, drawing Nodis on a separate piece of paper and pasting on top of that. Pretty sweet. More street brawling action between Nodis and the bad guys. Some reflective moments with Dio and them finding a dimension hopping device and hitting the button. This is where lettering comes in really fun with comics. Hit click and then just boom, let all that do the work for you. Letters page. Macho Tailfin, black and white in the 80s as a punker. More ads. Pimp those books. Preview those books. And you're out. We got issue 4, my painted cover. Tommy Lee Edwards on the variant cover, man. Look how badass that is.
So good.
Oh, Jamie, my headphones are going out. Shit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is it okay to, when they power down, to just take them out?
Will it come through a speaker?
That's a good question. And they were fully charged too. I think we've been just going for so long. Let me see what happens real quick. Let me see what happens. I'm going to take them out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Sweet.
Okay, cool. Guys, I also forgot to show real quick. That's the original art for that crazy butterfly page. Tommy Lee. Issue 4. I'm going to go through these quick, guys, just because, like I said, deep dives on all these, but pretty fun just to see the art, the experimentation, different scenes obviously have different color palettes. Crazy double page spread, revealing one of the main bad guys. Flashback. Crazy Gonzo action time. Oh, hell yeah. Look at that 90s throwback. Nodis gets fully armed and is not messing around. You boys fucked with the wrong pretzel eater. I got honky tonk on the mind.
So good.
Crazy. So he goes into full Schwarzenegger style action mode and is chopping people up with an axe, and it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of Justin guest colored this section for me because it's the first time Dio manifests the power of the butterfly, so I wanted it to have its own unique look to it. The teeth unleashed. Crazy reactions.
Is amazing.
Not it. Yeah, the main bad dude, like one of the guys, he takes Nodis out and just like rips his head off, and that's the end of that. And Dio is totally devastated. Letters page, Gordy pins, still available on the site. Got the ads, Girl Scouts issue 5, my cover, the incredible Brandon Graham on the guest variant cover. Look at that magic. There's a little cameo from me up there. I love that Brandon did everything. He did the logo by hand. You got Macho Tailfin in there. You got Bexu, Dio, Nodis, Gordy, Tea and Cookies. I like your style. He repeated from the dialogue of the previous issue.
Such a
that
cool
luscious bubble butt. Brandon, do you still have the original art for this? Because I would like to trade you for that if you're interested in that. Issue 5, we get Turtleneck Jones emerging from the grave, and he comes back from the dead with the dramatic lightning bolt behind him. This is a cool color palette for this scene. The tan paper with just the digital blue coloring and the white out with a little bit of yellow highlighting in there as well.
Brandon says it's yours.
Oh shit. Hell yeah, dude. I will happily trade you. Obviously, like let's behave like proper gentlemen and do a original art trade. So Bexu from the Azarian tribe is going into action. She's an ancient warrior. Flashback stuff. More crazy shit with Teeth and Takeo. Bexu sacrifices herself to save Dio in this and gets taken out with a poison dagger. And right when Dio's about to get murdered and choked out, boom, from behind, Homeboy's head explodes. Turtleneck Jones makes his return. But with the casualty of losing one of our main heroes. She gets a proper warrior's burial. Oh man, check this out. My homegirl Ash, who's always been so supportive of me and Sean's work, she made a custom Gordy cookie. Look at that.
That's sick.
Look at how great that is. That's amazing. Some fan art from Nikolai. Nikolai is still super active in the ink pulp community. One of our homies. Badass artist. This is a fantastic piece. This was oh shit, is this wait. This is Bill Hewitt. That's right. Bill Hewitt, who's also active in our community, did that killer piece. Like that is awesome. Another appearance by Gordo. Gordo in a meta moment is looking at the comic that has a photo of him in it. See what's going on there?
Blowing his mind.
Macho Tailfin. This is early 90s style Macho Tailfin where he's like Lobo and just literally like ripping people apart and tearing off heads and causing mass destruction, guys.
Is there a collection of the Macho Tailfin stuff? Does that exist?
No, but it's all the stuff is in the Grrl Scouts Stone Ghost trade paperback.
Oh, okay.
So yes, there. I said no, but I meant yes. It's final issue 6, my cover, Sean Crystal ink pulp baby, his variant cover, hand painted. I also own this original painting in my collection. Super crazy.
Such a cool cover.
Look at
Amazing
those
colors.
Look at those colors, man. Gordy. Super dope, dude. Final issue, guys. Wrapping it up. We got some hot tub shenanigans. Got some male nudity.
Equality.
Yeah.
That executive got through to you, Jim.
Exactly. The good guys are on their way to finally recover Billy's ashes and have a final confrontation with the bad guys. Big, involved, crazy things happening here. Final flashback. This is crazy mixed media stuff going on here. Let me show the original.
Both of
There's
those
the
pages
original.
are nuts. So good.
Pen and ink on paper, add some red watercolor, all white paint on Turtleneck Jones, just causing massive chaos there. Dio finally finds the urn that contains her dead boyfriend's ashes. Turtleneck Jones is about to have his head smashed, and in a completely unselfish action, Dio jumps through the air and smashes the urn with her boyfriend's ashes over the bad guy and is like, oh shit, the ashes. But the whole point of the mission was not to get them back. It was to rediscover something bigger. And then Turtleneck Jones goes into psycho mode and just beats this guy to a pulp. So you basically have, there's the original on that, but black ink with more red watercolor. Dio accepts her mission to reconnect and find the original 3 Girl Scouts. And this crew posses up to make the next adventure happen. So this is like a Neo type story ultimately of her sort of being a chosen one type character and her accepting her role in all this Girl Scouts craziness, and we'll see what happens next. Little epilogue with the teeth and Takeo. Final letters page. Final ad, guys. What is the future of Girl Scouts? Girl Scouts Deluxe. Jamie, this will be the last part of the show. Thanks so much for being here, man. I know we've gone late, dude.
It's been a pleasure, Jim. Here we go.
So guys, in 2021, 2022, I believe I signed on with this company called Zest World, and I did exclusive Girl Scouts web comics for them. This was a subscription-based service. It was an awesome arrangement. They let me do whatever I wanted. We're just going to look through some of this stuff real quick. Some promo material. That's the main image for what we were doing. And then some examples. Do we have? Yeah. So here's some examples of some of the strips. They were drawn in vertical scroll format for your phone. So the next Girl Scouts print project will be collecting all of these strips that most of you guys probably haven't seen in print form. And it's a project I'm probably going to take on next year because this year is already full with me doing the Arachnid Enforcer book. I still have to get writing and drawing on all the Arachnid Enforcer pages. So I don't have time to take on another project, but these are badass, fun, standalone, like 8-page each stories. So this one features Turtleneck Jones. This one features Daphne. She eats a tripped out cupcake and goes on a magical psychedelic adventure. You can see I'm doing different art kind of styles, line styles, color styles with most of these strips, which is fun. Yeah, this is our classic cast, I call them. Gwen, Rita, and Daphne showing up for this strip. Daphne in a solo joint called The Drop. But it was fun doing the storytelling based around this vertical scroll format where the eye is just going down this work and seeing all this stuff.
I'm interested in how this translates to print. Yeah. Can you talk about that at all? Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways to do it. And it's I mean, the panels are going to have to be broken up, but also I'm thinking of just doing the book as an oversized collection in print so that I can actually print some of them as, the vertical style. This is a strip about me being visited by Dio and Gordy, and I'm going on vacation and taking a break, and they have to take over writing and drawing the strip. Macho Tailfin guy.
We had a good question from Krista. It says, fuck, marry, kill, Gwen, Rita, and Daphne.
Oh, shit. I feel like I can't answer that because they're too...
You're too close.
They're too close to me. They're like my sisters. Dude, check this out. Stop right there, Jamie. Or go, yeah, right there. Get fucked, you smelly fish. Smell this, scumbag. And he punches that dude's head right off his body. Yeah, Grrl mentioned like fold out poster comics, something like Ron Wimberly did. That's an idea, but also I feel like I have some books in my collection that are oversized that I think would work for this format. This is a Gwen solo story. Her getting into some shenanigans at like a strip club. But yeah, Thug Waffle. This is another Gwen solo one. Fun stuff though. I mean, me just having a blast doing everything, the writing, drawing, lettering, coloring.
It looks so good, man. The differences in art between them are sick.
Yeah, it's fun. And the Zestworld guys just obviously left me alone and let me do my own thing. So that worked out really great. You get your violence, you get your comedy, you get your weird psychedelic shit. It's what Grrl Scouts is. It's fun. This was like the very first strip I did for them, which is introducing the girls to the readers. So you scroll all the way down, and it's like you get Gwen, Daphne, and their character descriptions just to let new subscribers and new people know what all this is about. There's Rita, there's Dio. Dio's got a cute dress on. And then, Daphne's butt right in your face. Brand new funk, dickhead. And then you get the guys at Zestworld commenting on like, why did they hire me to do these comics? Why are we publishing this guy's stuff? No idea. That's a very Jamie Hewlett Tank Girl kind of thing with using the actual photos,
That's so good. That's the end of those though.
Wow. Awesome, dude. I think we've gone long enough here. You guys, thank you again for joining me. I mean, I'll recap just real quick if you're new to this. If you want to check things out, Volume 1, they're not numbered because they're all self-contained stories, but Image Comics has Grrl Scouts. Grrl Scouts Work Sucks. Magic Socks and Stone Ghost are also through Image, still out there. These two are available on my website if you want to score them. I've also got variant covers and single issue stuff that you can buy from me if you want signed and doodled on stuff. And the future of Grrl Scouts next year, a print version of the Grrl Scouts Deluxe stuff, but also someone mentioned at the very beginning of the show, is there an omnibus? And one of my goals is to collect all this material you've seen tonight and put it in one of those big, huge, 400-page giants and put that out. Maybe that's a Kickstarter, but it would have been dope to do it for the 30th anniversary year, obviously. But this year, between podcasting, freelance cover work, and Arachnid Enforcer, I got my year cut out for me, man. You know what I mean? So
you're not busy enough, Jim.
That's that. That is that. Guys, if you don't mind, could you please like and subscribe before we get out of here, and take your time after the fact to go through my Jim Mahfood YouTube page here to check out all the other behind the scenes videos, the deep dive individual issues of Grrl Scout Stone Ghost, the crazy shenanigans. Join Jamie and I on Ink Pulp and Ink Pulp Live. And I think that's about it. Thank you all for joining me for this crazy, fantastic celebration. Jamie, thank you as always for being here, bro. I seriously appreciate it. And,
and congratulations on 30 years. I haven't said it yet, but congratulations, dude.
Thanks so much, man. I know we kept you up late for this one, but
dude, that is worth it. More than worth it.
Going back to 95, dude, to 2025. Come on, you gotta do something to celebrate. You gotta do some sort of recognition. So
that's it,
you guys are awesome. Jazzy Jamie, thank you, and we'll talk soon. Good night.